Hey, guess what, guys? It is our second annual Texas Four Corners podcast show. Hey, my name is Terry. I'm the founder and owner of NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Hey, I would like to thank everybody for coming on our show today. Today is going to be very exciting because today we have new, new teams from across our state that have joined us. You know, it's a very exciting time for us. We really, well, me especially, I really appreciate all the hard work that these guys put in. Most people think that being a paranormal investigator, there's no hard work involved in this. That we just go out, and we investigate whatever, and just, go put our equipment out. But believe it or not, guys, there is a lot of hard work and what we do, and what we do, we want to be successful at it, and that's where all the hard work come in at, because we definitely want to be successful in whatever that we want to do in life. And these guys here, I think, are some of the up and coming and some of the best paranormal investigator teams that are out there from all over our great state. With enough said, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves, to the world, starting with Texas Wraith Hunters.
My name is Anthony Ceballos, the founder of the Wraith Hunters.
You want to turn your mic up a little bit?
Can you hear me now?
A little bit more.
How about now?
A little bit more.
Go. How about now?
Okay, that's perfect. Can you guys hear them? If you guys can hear them, give me a thumbs up.
We can hear them.
I can hear them. There you go.
I heard it.
All right.
All right, well, my name is Anthony Ceballos. I'm the founder of Texas Wraith Hunters. Got my co-founder here. You can introduce yourself.
I go by Ace, co-founder of the Texas Wraith Hunters from West Texas.
And I'm one of the newest members, Tom Bailey, representing West Odessa.
The notorious Tom Bailey.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the notorious Tom. All
That's
right.
right.
Hey, glad to have you guys on, dude. You guys are representing West Texas. I appreciate it. All right. Let's move down to Mr. Scott. How you doing, Mr. Scott? Tell the world about you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Perry. I'm with Texas Paranormal Recon. My partner, Ricky, can't be with me right now, but we're a small team, and we like to help people out in the North Texas area. I live in Denton. She's over in Fort Worth, but we'll travel as far as we need to help, by and large, a lot of residential cases and a lot of business cases. I'm also a practicing occultist, so I bring a few a few other tricks to the trade that some people don't, a little bit more than tech. Glad to meet everyone. It's wonderful seeing you all.
All right. All right. South Texas, introduce yourselves.
Yes, go ahead. So we're the Kukui Paranormal. My name is Miguel. This is my wife Eliza, and we founded this together. And this started off as a hobby for us, and we kind of got addicted to it. We want to know what's out there. We want to get answers, and obviously we're gonna get more questions. So.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're going with, and we love it. It's we got 6 kids together, so when we spend time alone, it's what we do, and it's fun. It's fun and scary. Two feelings that we like to feel. So.
All right, Penny Paranormal, talk to me. You representing East Texas. How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
All right, tell the world a little bit about yourselves.
This is Roxy. Why don't you go ahead, Roxy?
I'm Roxy. I'm one of the lead investigators here with Penny Paranormal. This is DJ right here. He's our photographer.
Hello.
This is Stephanie right there. She's another investigator. Bill. And this is Bill. He's AKA boss man at this location.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this thing started, guys. Penny, I'm gonna start off with you because I think you guys are a very interesting group. You're a very diverse group, with young and older guys, and you bring a lot to the table. Starting with Miss Heidi. How you doing?
Yes, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Heidi Hoke, and I'm naturopath. I'm along with my husband. We're founders of Penny Paranormal, and by by calling and by profession, I'm a naturopathist and have a private practice here. Penny Paranormal ended up being um, a result of living in this haunted house for 52 years. And so it was just something that came very natural. And as my husband and I, David, took over the property full time after my mother and dad passed, it seemed to be just a very natural, normal flow of living with 19 plus spiritual residents here at the property.
Wow. You did you say 19 plus?
19 plus that we can document. We do know that the property is a 3-acre square that has approximately 600 unmarked graves within it, and that can be documented.
Wow.
That's historical.
Yes, it is.
To
Now, hey, we got, teams here. Hey, teams, have you guys ever been on a property where that many souls and bodies are, you know, at one time? If you
No,
have, raise your hand.
no.
Okay, Mr. Scott, it's an amazing feeling. Actually, when I was invited to come up there, and I went, and I think I was there maybe after the conversation me and Miss Heidi had. I think what, a good 30 minutes, and we went into the living room. No, the dining room, and I felt the vibration I've never even felt before. And Miss Heidi is my witness. I was ready to leave that place. I mean, I was ready to get out of that room because I've never felt anything like that. Uh, it wasn't bad, but if you haven't experienced something like that, you don't know how to respond to it, and it hit me perfect because I definitely didn't know how to respond. The vibrating of the floor, the moving of the tables, the moving, just everything was just vibrating. And I'm trying to debunk and see how in the hell, because I wasn't stumping my feet or anything. It was just a natural occurrence that was happening. And Miss Heidi, and I know that's something you're just used to.
we're over natural springs, but there's also a belief that we're right in a vortex, and we've been able to um, verify that in a couple of different ways of investigation, and it's it's an interesting place to live. I can tell you, the activity is almost on a daily basis. Um, I'm sure we miss a lot because we're kind of desensitized to it. We've just lived with it for so long, but it's definitely just it's a lifestyle. Investigation is a lifestyle for my husband and I, just living here.
Wow. Okay. I know when we talked, you guys have an event that you guys have every year. Tell us a little bit about your event that's coming up.
Roxy, would you like to talk?
The event we have coming up is October 22nd. We'll be selling tickets on Eventbrite. When?
September 1st. We're going to try to get that started on September 1st.
We'll be having. There'll be how many different groups?
We're going to be having about 9 centers,
Yeah.
investigational centers.
Mhm.
So what we do is we have a pretty large crowd. However, you're not investigating as a crowd. We divide up in groups of 6, so your group will have no more than 6 investigating at one time. And the property is on 2 acres, and there are approximately 8,000 square feet of indoor investigational areas. We have 3 floors of the main house. We have 2 floors of the carriage house, and then we have a 2-acre plot of land that is also active. So we set up about 9 different investigational areas, and you're able, in a 6-hour time span, you're able to move from each investigational area um, with investigators guiding you and telling stories and the like. So we have it really well organized so that people are in a large group, but they don't feel like they're in a large group. They're only actually in a group of 6 at any given time. So that works out very well. The house is just loaded with historical significance. We have 3 historical markers on the property. My mom and dad worked very diligently to protect the land and to protect the property and to make sure that it was historically recognized, as it certainly was deserving of. Um, so
And we also do a historic walk, also like before the event, because just the history of Mineola, Texas is very interesting. So, and it just kind of goes along with the information we have on the house.
Well, guys, I already put my request in to be off that weekend. There's no way. Hey, if it rains, I'm still gonna be there.
Oh, I tell you, rain is no issue. We've got enough space here
Yeah.
and enough. It is no issue. It is not a deal breaker. I want to mention that just as we were talking, DJ saw a shadow cross right over in the parlor. Every single room is active. There's no active rooms or not active rooms because this used to be a railroad boarding house, and it was visited by Bonnie and Clyde. It has loads of history. Governors, Ima Hogg, she was born here on the property. Jim Hogg was he was a best friend of Opie Pyle, who built the house. I think a little bit jealous, and so when their house next door burnt, they moved to Houston, but they ironically struck oil. So they had some money and
Lucky
they
devils.
built a home that was similar to this one so that they got to have one too. But it was an interesting interaction between Opie Pyle and Governor Hogg. They were both wonderful, wonderful families. And we have a lot of EVPs out in that Hogg property where Ima was born. We have voices and EVPs of her brothers talking. We have presently 3 family members of mine that are whose cremains are on the property, and so personally, I feel a closeness to those family members as well.
Cool. Now, how does the community feel about you guys and what you guys do in that little town?
I don't really know. I don't really care.
Nope,
Really?
nobody.
Okay.
We just do what we do, and we do it proudly and we do it with joy.
Well, like on the historic walks that we do, we don't never get no negativity when we're doing the walk or anything like that.
No, we don't.
Nobody's ever had any negative comments or, anything like that.
I take a lot of pride in being able to respectfully acknowledge all of the beautiful souls that have lived in this house. This house is 120 20 years old this year. I can't believe it. So it's had quite a few, the history is so rich. I can't think of any more wonderful way than to respectfully acknowledge the ongoing life that exists within the energies of this space. It's wonderful to me.
The one
Um,
thing that the one thing that I actually have for the house is me and the house is practically the same age. you know, Practically, or I feel that way anyway. But that's another story. Uh,
Now,
you know,
Terry, Terry, when you was here, you was also touched.
oh yes, I was, and
Hmm.
man, when I
well,
was there and I'm sitting in that chair and I looked down because I thought it was the bunker that was over there trying to touch my arm. So I looked at her and I'm like, why are you? What are you doing? But she's like, that wasn't me. It was a lightly just touch. Just rubbing down my arm, and I was like, okay, I've never experienced that before. And not only that, the flickering of the lights that was right next to me. I mean, I can honestly say that, there's something really going on in that house, and it's a beautiful house,
Thank
uh,
you.
and I would love to come spend a weekend there, probably in the basement, I mean, the attic, hang around in the attic.
Oh, the belfry. That's an energy powerhouse up there. Um,
Amazing.
it is.
It is.
So let me tell a little story about that. So what happened is we had a medium here that crawled up in the little cubby hole. It wasn't more than about 2 feet square. She went up in there just to experience the space and got a lot of activity. And so when mom and dad passed and we decided we wanted to do something up there in the attic, I don't know how we got started to doing it, but we just wanted to, know a little bit more about the attic. So when we got up there, we realized there was over 2,000 square feet of usable room up in the attic, which is another floor. So we thought, well, 25-foot ceilings up there. And
Wow.
so we were going to do some insulations and stuff up there. And by the time we got that insulated and got a floor in there to be able to insulate it, we had a third floor. So what I thought just seemed to be the thing to do is to make a metaphysical playroom out of it. And so we have just allowed it to decorate itself. We have had donations. We have had stored furniture, whatever we had to put up there. It literally decorated itself, and it ended up being a beautiful steampunk playroom with
Absolutely
just
beautiful.
all sorts of different metaphysical centers and turrets with drumming areas and I've had yoga classes up there. We've done a lot of different events up there. I have a metaphysical college online that's available to folks, and we do events up there. It's just a really cool place to hang out. It's just a wonderful, and so naturally, it's very active, and we're constantly hearing footsteps, very very distinct boot boot steps, I'll say, up there. So we have a couple of folks up there that definitely watch over it. We've seen apparitions up there, um, light balls, orbs. We've seen shadows. We've seen, what else have you seen? Have you
Well,
experienced?
that one time we was up there, the window behind me raised up by itself.
I didn't
Yeah.
know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know. You were
Yeah,
I was
touched.
touched over by the window
Mhm.
on my first visit at this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me.
That so anyway, I mean there's no place in this. There's not a corner in this house that is not active in
Well,
some way, shape, or form.
well, I'll tell you what, guys. There's like I don't even think snow can keep me away from this event that you guys are holding. that you
Terry,
guys
we
are
want
having.
I personally want to thank you for the interest that you've taken in the OP Pal House. I thank you for reaching out to us, and it has really been a pleasure working with you. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity with you and your team.
Oh, thank you. So you know what? But the pleasure is all mine. Like I say, there won't be nothing to stop me from getting up there. Not if
We're gonna
death was
have.
to come. If death was to
Oh,
come for me, I'm still coming. And
We
and
can't
I'm
wait.
gonna raise hell while I'm up there. That's just what I do. Uh,
You just might raise a little more than you bargained for.
okay. And you know what, guys? Hey guys,
Okay.
if there any other paranormal team that would love to take this journey with me up there, hey, I will. All right, I got one. There's one right there that's going to take the
Whenever the
trip.
day comes
Mr.
around, like,
Scott wants to take the
the
trip.
both of it, it'll be fun to do like a group investigation and see what's going
Yeah,
on. That would be fun.
I agree. That'd
Okay,
be
and
fun.
Texas Rave, hey man, these guys are coming 6 hours away, to come and then enjoy and visit your home.
We're
So
going to have an open event, as Roxy had mentioned. We're going to have that on October 22nd. It's going to be on a Saturday. We're going to have loads of fun. It's going to start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to have live music until we start the walks. We're going to have just a great band, super band outside entertaining. Then we're going to go on the street walks. Roxy, would you like to talk a little bit about that? Roxy and Bill and Stephanie, they all do wonderful job with that street walk.
And the street walk that we go on, we just mainly make like the buildings downtown in Mineola that's got a lot of history to them. We just talk about them. Mineola has not always been named Mineola. And then there used to be a water well in the middle of the downtown in the street down there. There's just so much history about all the old buildings. Some of the old buildings that they have up there where we have also investigated at that has a lot of spirits in them as well. And we talk about that.
Yeah, we gave you the uncut version.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so we'll have the band. We're going to have street tours, and that's even before you even get to the tour here. And then we're going to do 3 floors of the house, 2 floors of the carriage house. We have 2 very active garden areas that we go to. We have 2 gazebo areas that are active. We have a memorial area, and we have pet cemeteries. And so,
And then investigating on your own after
and
you
then
do all that.
and then after that, you're welcome to investigate on your own. So it's about, I guess, check-in is going to be around 3:30, and everybody's going to be going till 12 or 1 o'clock that next morning. So it's a good 8 hours, maybe 6 or 8 hours of investigation for you. It's a good event.
I love this house. I love investigating at this house, but I guess my most favorite is the carriage house.
Yeah.
I love this.
I
place.
guess because boss man, he hates women, so
He hates
Oh, damn.
women. He hates
Yeah,
women.
that growl really got me. I think we caught that in the
Yeah.
carriage house.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
He moves, so he
Whenever you're doing
moved
something,
out of the
see if
house.
Texas Paranormal Recon could come down. And I'm also a member of Paranormal Investigations in North Texas. We're training a bunch of newbies, so it'll be great to bring them down and show them everything that you've got.
We would love to have you. We really would love to.
You're not that far away from Denton, so that's good.
No, we're not far at all. We're not far at all. We're always open to private investigation events. Just because we don't have an event doesn't mean we can't accommodate a private event. We have theme weddings, we have theme parties, we have any kind of private event you want, we'll be happy to work with you and book that for you.
Fantastic.
Me and my husband was actually married here.
That yes, they were. That was good. That was good.
Interesting. All right, guys, we got a couple of comments, a couple hellos, a couple shout outs. Marianne, Paranormal, you guys met Marianne and Reaper when we were up there. And they're saying hello.
Hello. Hi.
Jimmy West, probably one of my favorite paranormal investigators out of East Texas. She says hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Juan Garcia, come to the smoke in the house. I'm not sure on what he's talking about on that one. And hey, Anthony, this one is for you, brother. Raise your hand because they're trying to figure out which one is you because, you know, they talk to you so much. They just want to know who you are. So Mr. Anthony is the gentleman in the middle. So, hey, guys, please, anything, the audience, any questions that you guys have to ask any of these great paranormal investigators, feel free to ask. You know, I'm pretty sure they will try to ask as best as they can. All right. Well, you know, I will be there, man. We're going to take over Mineola. I am going to go hit up that great restaurant. I forgot the name of it already.
Greatest. Is it Greatest?
Yep, I'm going to go hit up that restaurant and I'm going to eat.
We have quite a few nice restaurants here in Mineola. So if you come to the event, you won't be without fun places to go and resources. We've got plenty of restaurants and overnight places if you want to, you know, book a room. We have rooms here in town that you can book.
Heidi, my room is already booked. I got the attic, remember? I want the attic. Hey, just tell me a price. Just tell me a price, and hey, I can definitely make that happen.
The Belfry is really hot in the summertime, but in the wintertime, you don't even need heat. It is the most.
That's okay. I can open up a window, you know.
From October on through April, it's really comfortable up there. It's a nice place to hang out and sleep. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
You're a very interesting young man also.
I think that you call me a young man. That makes me very thrilled. I'm closer to 50 than I want to be.
Well, you know what? I was going to say you're 25.
Oh, you are my best friend. I'm 49.
I was going to say you're 25. Hey, you know, tell the world a little bit about what you do.
Well, I've been doing the paranormal thing for quite a bit. I'm an occultist. Coven Sachs Wicca for about 40 plus years. I've studied ceremonial magic, particularly the Golden Dawn current, since 1991. And I also work well with Jinn evocations. I'm a Reiki master, a psychic, a medium, do some killer tarot card readings. And by and large, I've been running residentials and seances since I was probably about like 14. And with Texas Paranormal Recon, we kind of go out, and if there's any cases, everything we do is free. So first of all, it's free unless, you know, someone wants to donate because they're traveling from here, hell and back to help them out. And if people have some issues and things they want to get rid of, I am extremely good at banishing. Because one of the first things you learn as an occultist is how to get rid of things, even the things you're not summoning. And if we need communication, I can play the psychic game well enough. I can act as a trance medium, black out for a while, and let someone else speak through me. And by and large, we do a lot of work. I'm also representing like Texas Paranormal, Texas Paranormal Investigations of North Texas, because I'm a administrator with that. I'm also their lead investigator for that. We're starting up like a new investigative team. So if anyone needs anything, you can probably reach me through like Pentex on Facebook, and Ricky and I will come out and help you whatever you need. Nothing is too weird or strange. We're good at psyching people wherever they kind of need. And like I said, if you need communication, we can help you communicate. If you want to make something go away because it's really nasty and horrible, gotcha. Not a problem. And if by and large you're an occultist and you've summoned something you don't know how to deal with, I'm fairly familiar with a lot of different magics. So I can help out in ways that is different and varied.
Okay, cool. I mean, dude, you're
Also, an
very.
AP teacher, so if your kid needs help with SAT or AP classes, read your history. I've got you.
All right. Hey, you know what? The one thing I've noticed, guys, about the men on this panel right now,
We wear a lot of black.
anybody can tell me what we all have in common, because everybody can see everybody. What do we, there you go. We all got bald heads. Yeah, we all got that. I don't know if that's from stress or it's just nature.
Word, man. It's
Yeah, there you
Good teenage daughters.
We all got. Hey, Anthony, take off your hat, man. Quit playing. Okay, you got the hair. We all got bald heads, man. And you know what? And with me personally, with a man losing his hair, I think that comes with a lot of wisdom. You know, we just been around for a while. We've seen a lot of things. We've done a lot of things. Starting with you, Anthony, and Texas Rape Hunters. Tell me some of the weirdest things you guys have seen, you guys have done. Some of the things that you can't explain.
Well, we've seen a few things here and there. Normally, like we talked about before, we mainly do our investigations down south, South Texas. But yeah, we've had some pretty crazy experiences. I think we've had one pretty good. I think we can bring that up. Yeah.
But the one that really got to me was one night. I was living with my brother at the time, and I was laying in bed, and in the corner was a big dark shadow. And you don't know if it's just the dark, playing with your mind. So I panned the room, and it followed, and then I moved back to that same corner, and then that entity, I could see its hand like move, and it had long fingers. And then I had just told it like, "You're not scaring shit." And then I fell asleep. And so the next day, my brother texted me and he said, "Hey man, we need to pray because his wife, he's all Karen. Every time she walks, she's in the house by herself. She already took the kids to school. And then, but that next day, he texted me. He's like, "Hey man, we need to start praying because Karen, every time she walks past your room, she feels like there's something in it." So that's how I knew whatever I had saw was real. It was there that night. And so, to me, I think it may have done something to do with like a Haitian god. Because we had come across an investigation. It was like at a ritual bridge or something. We had found a goat with its head cut off. We found burnt candles. And then we went to like a local seance place, and then we had asked them what they thought of it. And they had known about it. They had said, "Was it over here in this area?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, we don't want to talk about that no more. But I just want to let you know it has something to do with the Haitian god."
Yeah, I think that one right there for me was one of the top ones because I pick up basically on everything, and I've been like that since I was a kid. When we did that one investigation, that one came after me hard. I even feel that it possessed me for for a good while. Um, and it took me about 3 months to get over that. And that's something that I wanted to. I actually reached out to Scott one time, not too long ago. So now he's on here, so now I get to ask him. But it was a Haitian god that the people were telling us that we came into their ritual, and I feel like that's what came out for me. Since I was, I guess, the lead one in it, it messed me up for a little while. It took me, like, say, about 3 months before I could finally just start uh, to figure out where I was at, you know. But yeah, that was a pretty weird deal. Pretty.
I don't mean to interrupt, but if you ever have anything like that happen again and it's not leaving, will you contact me? Because I could help you out even if it's from afar.
Yeah. But if I did reach out to you one time, and that's something I wanted to ask you. Now you're on here, so that's something there that like I said,
Yeah,
that was pretty tough.
I'm like I said, I'm really good at getting rid of things like that, and especially if it's something that's kind of occult related. I know my stuff fairly well. I'm very well versed in a lot of different systems. But you should never have to like suffer through anything like that. If honestly, if anything like that ever pops up for any of you guys or whatever, reach out. I'll do what I can for you.
You can actually watch that video on YouTube. I have it on YouTube. It's called Satanic Bridge, but that's that was the roughest one right now since I was a kid. I'm still trying to work through that one.
Hey, you know what? South Texas look a little bored over there, so
We're interested in all the stories.
you know, hey, it's
I feel like a little kid at a campfire. I'm all
you know what? You really be surprised, man, if you just sit back and you just see. This is something kids have a problem today. Today's kids is they don't like to listen.
yeah.
You can learn so much by just listening, cleaning out your ears. You know, you can really learn a lot by doing that, and that's something that the kids don't do today. You know, so believe it or not, I do more listening than I do talking.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's really a good thing for me. I mean, because you can learn so much.
Yes.
You know, hey guys, we're on this panel. If you guys have any questions for any paranormal investigator on this panel, feel free to ask.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to know if anyone here has any experience in investigating CE5 and extraterrestrials.
Oh yes, actually, I've been looking into that. I've got some friends that are into that.
We are doing it. We're doing it. I want to introduce my husband, David Crook. He's a very active in the investigations as well, in the tours. We have an element of CE5. We're kind of referring to it as CE6. The reason why we were introduced to these particular devices that we label Akashic bridges, and it enables one to go into the higher realms of consciousness, into the higher levels of existence, and without a near-death experience. I've had a NDE, so those that have seem to be able to respond to it very well. But what we're doing is we're combining the use of these Akashic Bridge devices with the meditations of CE5. And we're going to be giving a workshop. It's kind of a little bit of an amplified variation of CE5. We're going to be loyal to the CE5 protocols, but we're adding the Akashic Bridges that we have. We have probably, I don't know, how many do we have?
20.
Probably about 20 different styles. They're basically, it's the same technology, but a little different styles. What is this that's in front of us here?
It's a cat.
That's, yeah, let's get her out. So I wanted to show this to you. There you go. No, what is that?
It's a dark mass.
It's a dark mass. I don't know what this dark mass is here.
Yeah, I see it on the right side.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
all
dark
the time.
I don't know what that is.
Could it be? Could it be? What's his name? Want to put his face in the picture?
That's weird. I didn't notice it before.
I thought you had something in front of the phone.
Yeah.
No, we don't have anything. We don't
Is
have
it the boss
anything.
man? The boss man want to be on TV.
don't know what that is. That is weird because we don't. There's nothing here obstructing it.
Since y'all started.
Try wiping the lens.
Wow.
I didn't notice it. I did not notice it. That is weird. But anyway, so it gives a really nice variation, expanded interest of the CE5. We're going to be having that November 12th. On Saturday, we're going to have a workshop, and then we're going to do some investigation and some sighting viewing. They're here on the property. We have a kind of a really neat open area that has vortex activity out there. I'm going to put this out. Has vortex activity out there. We've spotted quite a few UFOs in that area in just a few different.
It was sitting over the camera.
Ah.
No, yeah, it's gone now. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was including the main camera on the laptop.
Ah.
But I moved it slightly.
I see what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wondered if those of you were interested in that. We're going to be holding some real interesting, different kind of. And this is Zappa. We love Zappa. Zappa does anything and goes anywhere he wants to.
It's like his head rub. That's all.
In front of you. Hey, Dave. Heidi, your husband? Ask him, did he get those glasses he ordered?
David.
I went to look for them and they were out of stock.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Just so happened.
I have a 3D printer, so I'm going to design it.
You know, I found some that actually has night vision on those.
Oh, cool.
We could do that.
Yeah.
He does 3D printing. You could design a night vision on them, couldn't you? Anyway, we're good.
Look at the cat.
The kitty knows this electromagnetic energy going on here. Loves it. Yeah.
There you go, fat cat. All right. Hey.
Anyway, we were at Contact in the Desert a couple of years ago and introduced these and got some absolutely phenomenal results from some of the speakers there at Contact in the Desert using this device. Incredible. Incredible. They absolutely work, and because they're linked to Akashic field activity or interaction with Akashic levels, it's perfect for CE5 application.
Okay. I want all you guys to be able to read the comments that people are providing for us. If you guys can see everything.
Yeah, I've been kind of trying to respond back with texting.
Oh, okay. Now I see them.
I don't see anything yet.
Are the best for sleeping. We're definitely gonna try that. We want to try staying at a graveyard
without getting arrested.
Yeah, I've encountered that before.
Everything I want to do is without getting arrested. As long as I don't get woken up by flashing lights and somebody trying to kick me out, we're down for anything.
All right. Now, hey guys, the one thing I loved about South Texas Paranormal, and I talked to him a lot, is some of the ways that he do things. He's an old school guy. His techniques are old school. Have you guys ever seen Kolchak? Some of you young guys probably don't know who that is. But if you guys remember the late 70s, early 80s Kolchak, when the guy with the strap, and he had his little tape recorder on the side, and he's recording EVPs and all that stuff. Well, this guy is the same way. He has that old 1970 tape recorder, the kind my teacher used to have when you just hit a button, you push down that button, and it plays and it records. He's the same way.
We have some of those here around the house.
And
We've got
you
them
know
all.
what? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we've got them.
one thing he always told me is the new way is not always the best way.
That's true. That is
So
true.
he records. He records on those as well.
Yes.
We have
Those
them. We could use them. We can use
matter
them.
of fact, I don't even think he has an up-to-date camera. He has probably a camera. I don't know if some of you guys might be too young for this, that has the little cartridge where the big cartridge where you just slide it right in.
Yeah.
And you actually got to go through 100 different ways to even get it uploaded onto your video, to your laptop. He still has those.
Wow.
You know, instead of going to eBay, Amazon, and doing all that stuff, he gets all his equipment from thrift stores, pawn shops, and places where, what is it, Goodwill, places where, things can still be used, but people just today just choose not to use them.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know,
that's
so-
true. They want to spend a lot of money on this equipment, and when you can just use your cell phone sometimes too. I mean, energy is energy. It's going to read through.
Oh yeah, I can agree with you on that. And so I mean, I'm a type of guy that likes to have new ideas and try new things. Anthony, you're a witness. Penny Paranormal, you guys are a witness when I came in with the glasses and all that. Having those glasses, I think, will take it, paranormal investigating to another level, because you're able to free up your hands. The most important about investigating is these, your hands and your sight. Because if you don't have hands and sight, there's nothing you can do with it. So when I bought those glasses and I took them into the field, I really thought they were a great success. If people are, just rushing out to buy them, I don't know. But only thing I can do is show you guys, and try to help you guys out, as far as doing what you do. So I'm constantly trying to, bring new things to the table. And I thought I've actually done this because I've actually bought a I want to call it a wand, a wand that is about 50 centimeters long, and you can actually, it's like a motion. But the good thing about that, guys, is once you touch it and it comes on, and you touch it again, uh, hopefully, whoever you're trying to communicate with can do the same thing. I really think it'd be very interesting. Uh, and this is it right here.
That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm gonna plug it in, guys, and let you guys see what exactly it does. Hopefully,
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
different colors.
Yeah.
And you touch it, it'll go off. You touch it, it'll come on.
that's
And
awesome.
and what I was thinking about doing is putting them in hallways in case somebody is walking. You hear somebody walking, you can put them in hallways, and they can actually light up as the entity or the individual walk by them.
Yeah, they do that with the cat balls. The little
Well-
cat balls that bounce and they light up. They use those too. And if an entity is walking by or energy, it's going to set them off from the vibration, like you were talking about, vibrations that you feel throughout
Right.
wherever the spirit passes through, and it starts to trigger off the lights on the balls to go off.
But the good thing about this is, me myself, I'm tired of buying cat balls because I lose them. Hey, I lose them because when I'm in a cemetery, and I wear glasses already, so I don't have that vision like you young guys do. So I get tired of fiddling around in the grass just trying to find a damn small ass ball. So if I use that, I won't. Hey, it's actually saving me money.
Hey,
Hey,
so
Terry, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
A while back, you posted about you bought some multicolored lights, some bigger lights. Have you tried those out yet?
We tried them out at the Essential 54 Historic House in Seguin, Texas, and they were a great success. Now, I
Okay.
wasn't able to put them actually like I want them, but I actually laid them out on the table, and it actually light up like a little Simon Says, because you can actually touch one and the other one. It's like you playing the Simon Says game, and it
Okay.
was really, really successful, guys. The only difference is I need to put it in a case where it actually looks kind of, looks kind of good, and hopefully people will, flock to those. Only the only difference between those are they're short lights, and pretty much work the same way as this little rod I got. I haven't really picked a name for it yet, but and the good thing about this, it's actually battery operated. You can
Nice.
actually plug something into it so it won't drain your battery. So you constantly going. If you want to communicate, you constantly communicating with something or someone. You know, uh, and I'm pretty sure there are different people out there that have different techniques on the way they investigate. And the way they approach, their investigation. Because what Scott might do, I might not do. What Texas Race might do, and it just goes back and forth.
You feel it?
You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, Terry, what's the footage on the glasses? Like the Blair Witch Project?
I can't hear you.
I said, what's the footage like on those glasses?
Uh,
They look
bro,
like the
you get.
Do they look like the Blair Witch Project?
Uh, yeah, they're pretty good. Oh, did you get some?
hey, so what I have is we got these, right. These was this actually an attachment you put on the glasses that you already own, and there's a camera. This is what I'm holding here. It's really small, and I guess my filter ain't helping. But basically, it's a little attachment. It goes on the side of your glasses, and it records for you, so you don't have to hold nothing. You just press the button, and it starts to record, and it saves everything into the camera, and then you just plug it into your computer, or you can plug it back to the charger. So depending on who you use it for. So I found it's called a pogo cam, and it's a magnetic attachment to it. Basically, we're going to use it for our ghost hunting because we usually have our phones and we have to hold something constantly, and this will free up our hands. So
Yeah.
I think something like this will be great. And I found these really
Amazon
cheap. It was an Amazon. It's an Amazon product. It got returned, so it got returned in bulk. So we bought a few at a cheaper price so that we all have some with us.
So here in San Antonio, they have different stores that are like Amazon products that have been returned. And they had a bunch of these brand new eyeglass cameras, and they were for like $8. So we got a few for us.
Can't be
A mobile cam.
Huh?
What is it called again? What is it called?
It's called a Pogo Cam.
POGO.
POGO.
Yes.
Pogo.
Mhm. But
Right.
you'll find them on Amazon.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm looking.
Thank you.
Anything
Hey,
that- anything
Mr.
that can get your
Scott,
hands
how
to
would you
it.
feel about? What do you think about that comment Miss Marie just made? Would you agree with that, or wouldn't you? How would you react towards that?
Well, I was trained as a psychic that you get your psychic impressions, but you got to have some real world confirmation from it, either from the client that says that whatever you said was accurate, or some device that goes off as well. The last time I was running a seance over at a hotel, talking to some of the spirits there, the place didn't want me to tell you where it was over in Fort Worth. I was saying things, and the mail meter, whenever they wanted to make a point of things, would start screaming out. All the lights would go off at once. So if I were saying something with the spirit speaking through me, and the person who was supposed to be listening wasn't listening, the top lights would go straight off to green to red real
Right.
fast. Get their attention because maybe they ought to be listening. So I use the technology as a backup to my psychic abilities to give confirmation. So it's not just me saying crazy things out of my head. There's actually either some tech piece that will confirm it, or the client will hear something that they can say, yes, that's accurate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got a question for Kukui Paranormal.
What's
Terry, I
up?
have a comment.
Okay,
I
go
have
go
a
ahead. Ed.
comment.
You can hear me?
Who just-
We do our investigations, like I said, mostly in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Have y'all gone to the Donkey Lady Bridge?
Yeah.
They actually, when we went, they actually had it closed off. Like nobody could get near that area.
I've driven by Donkey Lady Bridge a few times. The first time I wasn't even understanding the story, the legend that was behind it. Just the name Donkey Lady just threw me off.
Well,
And-
real quick, he's not from here.
Yeah, I'm not from here. I'm
He's
from
not
Philly.
native to San Antonio, Texas, or anything. He's from Philly, so
Yeah.
I have to like
Oh,
fill
wow.
him in. Yeah, so I have to fill him in with our, history, and
Yeah.
I try my best.
So I started out.
I was asking if y'all went there, have y'all gone past the bridge away from the urban legend and gone into the forest?
No, we haven't gone to the forest because, well, as I've mentioned before, I don't want to get arrested. every time I go, there's a cop there, like watching all night, like a hawk, and it's every single time. And I'll be like, okay, guys, no, next year, let's go before Halloween, so that way we're not in the season where everybody else is going. And it's like it's either a gate is locked or something, and we show up randomly. We don't even, most of the time for us, we don't even plan our journeys. We just kind of go with the flow. We just get in the car and go somewhere, and as we're going, we kind of figure out where to go. Donkey Lady has popped up to me.
But he's talking about past that.
Yeah, well, for me, Donkey Lady is the story itself is so weird that I had to check it out. But I heard so many stories as far as what's supposed to happen when you're there. But I usually ended up, in the past, I've gone with people who are afraid to get out of the car, once we get there. So if you have a spot, a location that you think is hot, I would love to join and go investigate.
That's what I'm saying. We've done that one 5 times. The first time that we went there, we talked about it a lot, but the people that we were with ended up getting possessed. But when you go past the bridge, you get to the bridge part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, past the bridge, you go down the trail, and you go about 3 miles in the forest. That's just one side. There's another side across the street, across that White Road. After White Road, on the other side. On that one right there, we have caught native drum beats, women crying. That one too, we have that one on YouTube where we had a growl come out of us, but it wasn't an animal, because you see shadow people. The first time that we went in there, we actually got lost on that little trail because it became like interdimensional. It was a whole other level. We went the first time, but every time that we go, always. I know you say that investigators don't always get everything every time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'm a magnet for this, but they're just drawn out. And every time we go there, we always end up meeting somebody else. And we've had the first time too. We saw Sonny here and the other members. They saw the apparition of the donkey lady, but it's not on the bridge. You have to go into the forest. That forest has a lot of history to it. I mean, it's over. That land goes back to the natives 10,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask this a lot of people. I asked this on another podcast, people in San Antonio. They've never gone there. You know, and it's like to me, it's like God, that is one big giant candy store. I mean,
So with what you found so far, um, with your events and all that, so does it correlate with the story, or you think it's something completely different that's
no.
going on?
Well, it's like I said, the first time that we went on a just we were down there and we just ended up going, and we went past the bridge, and then I was just drawn into that forest, and we went 6 miles in that forest to a two-story house that's in there. And when you're in there, I mean, it's just dark. I mean, it's dark. You feel things all around you. You hear all kinds of things. And I have that one on YouTube also if you want to check that out. But that place there, man, it's elementals, it's vortexes, it's portals. I mean, I know this is the format that I can talk like this because I'm not used to talking like that. But I think it's kind of sort of like the down there in Manola. That's what I'm expecting over there.
Yeah.
Their house, but what I'm hearing from them, it kind of sounds like that. But you gotta go at night. I mean, you know what I mean. I know there's a thing you're not supposed to be there at night, but hey, we're investigating whoever. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think that stops us.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna be down there in September for that paranormal fest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna hit that one again because we always gotta go to it.
Awesome.
Well,
That would be.
we're definitely going.
Yeah, we're up for anything. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, we just started our journey doing this, and we had our own. What caused us to start this was because of our own personal experiences that we've had where we live. And then as I was growing up, I experienced a lot of paranormal, but nobody would listen to me. Like everybody would just be like, "Oh, it's because you're acting bad today. That's why you heard noises," or it was always something like that. And I was just like, "Man, nobody listens to me," And then I met my husband, and he shared some stories, and I was like, finally, somebody who like takes the same interest I do, So we started doing our own little paranormal ghost hunting, all this stuff, and then we started experiencing stuff at our own home. And one day we were just having a family get together, playing games, and we were just enjoying each other's company. And then all of a sudden, I felt this burning sensation that slowly turned into like a pain. So I got up scared and I went to the restroom, and my daughters followed me, and they saw that I had 3 scratch marks across my chest area. And that right there, I was like, okay, something's mad at me, or something's upset with us having a good time, So that happened to me, and then it happened again not too long ago to my oldest daughter. Our oldest daughter was talking to our son in the hallway, and that's where they have most of the activity, and she received the same pain and burning sensation, and she had a large scratch on her back that was real thick, and it actually broke skin more than it did on mine. It looked pretty bad. So kind of just been interested in the paranormal, like I said, and even more so now because of what's going on in our own home.
Okay. Hey guys, Miss Heidi, uh, have you ever heard of the Immortal 32 historical home?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Have you heard of the Immortal 32 historical home in Seguin, Texas?
I have not. No.
Okay. I am going to send you some information to the people that actually own this house. Uh, when we did an investigation there, it was quite intriguing because this was the first home after the Texas Revolution where Santa Anna lived. So many historical figures were there that The place is it should be an historical marker, but it's not.
It
Only the
should
reason
be.
why it's not is because the state of Texas uh, saying that it's not in bad enough shape for them to come in and do the repairs to the house. Now, to me, that sounds kind of weird.
Mhm.
Because anything that has any significant historical value should be labeled a historical.
Well,
It should have a
and to
marker.
your point, Terry, we had a historical home here that burnt, and it was still designated as a historical site. So like you, I question that. I don't. I think that's all the more reason to have it marked and have it designated is to protect it in it, even in its state. When we bought this house in 1972, it had been vacant for 10 years and was not habitable. It would have been torn down probably had it not been bought by my family and immediately designated as a historical site. Um, but there's a lot of work. Yes, it takes somebody with a lot of work for a lot of dedication to do a lot of research to submit the historical material. That's all it takes is somebody who is willing to do that work. In my family's case, it was my mom and dad that did all of that work. And it took them years to compile it. It's a legal process. It's a protocol. It's a big deal to get it together, but once you do, you've got it. So there may have been some other that does not sound appropriate because if that's the case, this would never have gotten historically recognized. It was in horrible condition. We couldn't live in it. We could not live in it. We had to clean one room and camp out in camping cots and cook on a Coleman stove outside. There was not even a bathroom that could be used. There was no kitchen
Wow.
that could be used. There was squirrels nesting in the toilet. I'm serious. And there was nothing here that was habitable. So anyway, that's just our experience. I wanted to mention something. We've had besides being on the Travel Channel, Trending Fear, we've also had a production company to come out and do make a movie. And Roxy just got word that movie will be privately released tonight at 9 o'clock on a private channel, but it will be public a little bit later. So I just wanted to mention that
Oh
it'll
wow.
probably be available for viewing, and we're going to probably use it as we can uh, legally. We can use that appropriately. Roxy, was there anything you wanted to say about that movie?
Um,
It's called The Rotten.
yeah, it's called The Rotten One. The Mysteries of the O.P. Paul House. And I just got confirmation that it'll be private tonight. Um, they're gonna send me and Heidi a link so we can go through and watch it. The movie's approximately, he said, about an hour and a half long, and but it'll be released on Facebook later on, and then what is that?
BD.
Yeah, IMBD. It will be released on it probably in a week or two.
Wow. You guys also have a production company coming for the event.
Yes. Thank you, Terry.
No
Thank you for
problem.
that.
No problem.
Yes, you're responsible for that, and I'm excited about that. I've spoken with those folks, and I've certainly opened up the house for any kind of filming and podcast and whatever they want to do. We're going to set up a little podcast station on the event, and you and others can use that for casting. what we like to do is we like to do podcasts on guests of the events that have had paranormal experiences, and that makes for some really fun, interesting entertainment.
I don't know. You know what? I'm really focused about that attic. I mean, if I can get up there and do a podcast, that'd be
Oh,
great.
it's a treat. It's a treat. It's a treat.
I'd
It
love to
really
get up
is.
there and do that podcast up in the attic.
It's a treat.
Careful what you wish for.
That would
Yeah,
be pretty interesting.
yeah. It's active.
You know what, guys? Uh, let's see here. Couple comments. Are you guys able to read the comments?
We can't read them.
We can't see
Breaking
them.
heart
can't see
that it wasn't circle of orphanage. TJ Woodman Circle Orphanage. Is that an orphanage up in Northeast Texas? I'm not familiar with it.
What is it?
If anybody from are you guys familiar with that?
I'm familiar with Northeast Texas. We used to live in areas of there when I was a kid.
I'm not for sure what that orphanage was, but TJ Orphanage.
Actually, there was. I'm familiar with one. Where's the location?
Let me see here.
Oh, Sherman.
Sherman.
Yeah, it was in Sherman, Texas.
Yes, I know that. I know that orphanage. That was a Methodist at one time. That was run by the Methodist Church. I'm familiar with that. My father was Methodist minister, and we were very much familiar with that. In fact, I believe that our youth group went there at one time and did a dance, and with some of the kids there, and we were in junior high. But I am familiar with that orphanage in Sherman, Texas. I had some little friends who were adopted out of that orphanage.
Cool. Hey guys, as I hope you guys did your research on me, because at the end of the podcast, you know me, I love to give gifts. I'm a gift giving guy. You got to just see me for Christmas. I don't give no gifts. But I will ask a question. A question about me in particular. I hope you guys done your homework, in order to receive that gift. And it can be anything from a camera, tickets to Hawaii. It could be, anything. So you guys, I hope you guys did your homework. I just want to throw that in there. Those tickets to Hawaii. Hey, you never know, guys. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's look at another question. Woodman of the World Insurance got started? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, yeah. So, guys, hey. If you guys had an opportunity to change the way that paranormals investigate, how would you guys change that? Starting with Scott, what would you do different?
All right, I think I would go a little bit more old school and kind of bring back the old concept of like seances. If we're trying to gather information for scientific purpose, we need to have a lot more people involved who actually have their master's degrees or PhDs in, hard sciences or at least social sciences. But bring back the use of a seance so we could have a controlled environment within a location and actually gather information that is a lot more controlled than what you would have out in the field. A lot of the, if we're trying to, again, if your goal is scientific evidence, it's really hard to get that and get something that's repeatable out in the field because it's cluttered and that's just the way things are. With that said, if we're trying to actually help some people, I think it's kind of a disservice when we have a lot of things that are put up. I've seen so many teams that will put just about anything up online to get more clicks for themselves and then say they're there to help people. I've been disturbed by seeing some groups that will go out and they're there to make house calls, and they will go to a house, use all their evidence to determine that something is there, and then say, well, call a priest, talk to you later. And it's like, that's not really that's not really why they called you. They knew they had a problem before you came. They were hoping to find someone that would do something about it. And I think that's kind of disingenuous.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey, Texas Raid, what would you guys change if you had an opportunity to do so about paranormal investigating?
I think that's what I've seen is, or what I've heard is I don't know. To me, it's like a lot of groups don't work together. You know, I mean, uh, what we do is not for us because we already believe. You know, our job is to put this out to people that don't believe. You know, so that's I don't know. It's just like you talk about it, Terry. You know, ever since I heard you say about the paranormal drama, and
Yeah.
and now that I'm getting more into with other groups and other podcasts, just seeing from all around the world. You know, and I was on one with in the UK yesterday, and I'm listening to them. And then I watch another one, and they're just badmouthing everybody. You know, just kind of it's just like you know, everybody. It's like it's just like everything else. Everybody thinks you're all like this. You know, well, I've been doing it for 35 years. I've been doing it for a year. I've been doing it for 6 months. You know, it's like it's not even about that. You know, it's
like one huge team. We're supposed to be a big team.
yeah. I don't see that. You know, I don't know how it was. I've seen that their investigators were even back in the 1800s. You know, but I just wish it was a little different. You know, I can see why a lot of people don't.
Can you imagine how they investigated the paranormal back in the 1800s? When I put that post out, you know, I was shocked on the comments that I got from there. Oh, Fred. Hey, Fred is one hell of a paranormal investigator. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the equipment that we have, but yet he managed to get the job done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, South Texas, what would you change that would make, you know, paranormal a better place, investigating a better place for, you know, for everybody?
I think one of the things that I would prefer is, well, that we still do is try to debunk what you think you saw, what you think you found first, instead of jumping straight to the conclusion that you have a spirit. Um, the other situation is if you're we do this for us. Some paranormal investigators do it for other people to help them. Um, I'm not at the level where I can say, let me go investigate your house because I will find something and I'll be like, okay, you got a problem. Now you got to go call somebody to help you fix it because we're not the fixers. So we don't. I think some paranormal investigating groups should know where they're at as far as your place is. Can you help people? Because if you can't, don't go promising people that you're going to help them and then leave them stranded. Because a lot of times, all you're going to be doing is poking the bear, and then you're going to walk out, and then now they're stuck with a bigger problem than what you're doing. Which brings me to my other point. I think that instead of just saying, you know, your home is haunted or this place is haunted, I think people should make a point to identify what's causing it, whether whether it's a soul, if there's a person, like if there's an identity of a person, because if we're assuming that these are spirits of people who've passed away, um, I would like to know who they are, not just saying, well, you have a ghost in your house. I want to know who that ghost is. If it's a man or a woman, if it has a name, if it has a history, if it's something that you brought with you or something that came with the house. Those are the kind of things that I think people should investigate as far as doing a historical research, not just, saying that you found, orbs and shadows and stuff on camera. I think that's great as far as evidence. You got something to show, but I think the historical research should be a big part that I believe a lot of paranormal groups do miss out on. They don't care to find that. They just want to upload videos and pictures and take credit for that just for the likes, which is not what we do. And if if anybody gets big enough to start making episodes and put them on YouTube, just cut out the background music. And
Yeah. Yes.
And the
100%.
background music makes you feel like, okay, something big's gonna happen, and then it's like,
we didn't find
oh, he
that.
just dropped the camera, or
Yeah.
so it's like, cut the big music off and start, stop asking us, can you hear that? Can you hear that? No, I can't.
Yeah. Because you can't hear it when they tell you to listen, but then you can't hear it because of the music.
The music is a big killer, in my opinion.
That's
I think
crazy.
I would definitely change that. I would change that.
Hey, you guys have a valid point. Hey, cut out the damn background music when
Yeah.
you investigate.
I'm trying to hear the whispering too, you know.
That's usually what I bugs me. I can hear somebody say, "Oh, did you hear that?" And everybody's like trying to be quiet, but yeah, you got this tons of music in the background that I'm listening to, and I'm trying to listen for them, because half the time, like I said, maybe you can hear something that I'm not hearing, and even though I'm the one recording it, I'm not hearing it with my ears, but maybe my camera's picking it up, and I'm ruining it with some scary music in the background. I think that's a major killer. There are some paranormal groups that are very popular on TV that my wife hates for that. She just avoids TV shows for the same reason.
I prefer to support local paranormal groups, smaller paranormal groups, because they're in it for the right reasons. They're not in it just for like we're talking about the likes and all the popularity. They're in it for the real reasons, and I follow people like that because I feel like they're truer to the situation. It's coming from deep inside, like they want to be there, not just for that reason to be popular. And I like to follow that. I like the truth.
Okay, cool. Penny, not you. Hey, excuse me, guys. Hey, my wife's name is Penny too. So when I said Penny, she Penny Paranormal. What would you change if you guys could about the paranormal world?
Well, can I start? Because this is kind of a soapbox of mine. I observe that in most paranormal groups, you have a limited focus on what is within time and space and an interior. And I would like to see an expanded understanding of what the word paranormal means. And that would be inclusive of the investigation of other civilizations, of what is within the universe, not what is limited between walls. There is more to investigate than the energies of those from our past. I would like to see the full circle of eternity, future, explored throughout our universe and other galaxies. And this can be done really very well. There's been so much clinical evidence on this, so much science-based. This is so science-based. And I think it's something that we are missing out as investigators, as paranormal investigators. We're missing out on a whole frontier of investigation outside of the walls of a building. And how is that done? It's from within, in our own expanded consciousness. Astral projection, we learning that and going out and being able to interact with energies that are far, far higher in their level of development, and what we could learn and what we could experience by that. I think that is phenomenal. And that's, as Penny Paranormal develops, that's what I intend. That's where as David and I both, I believe that's where our intent is as founders of Penny Paranormal. where we would like to go with our group is expanding beyond what's within the walls of this house, but out in the unlimited boundaries of universal interaction with energies. And David, I know, has a show and tell that he wants to
No. I was going to mention, like Heidi mentioned, there's more to understanding the paranormal than simply exploring the spiritual realm. So once you get out there through meditation, investigation, and being
astral
psychically,
projection,
and being
astral travel.
psychically tuned, like we told you, Terry, when you look at the spiritual world, if you think of it as a TV channel, if you look at it as it's, I got distracted. Oh, that's the, yeah. So
Is there somebody there?
as you look into the spiritual world, if you think about it, in the scheme of things, we are in existence on level 3 plane. This is the realm of what you understand as normal. When you go and investigate within the spiritual realm, you're at a level of 4. So if you think about it, it's somewhat like TV channels. When you begin to investigate, as you become attuned, you can intuitively connect into a level 3 or 4 existence, and that's what you call the spiritual plane. But beyond this, as you become attuned, there's higher domains. So when you get into it, these higher planes belong to the the higher terrestrial life forms, like
the light forms.
Yeah, the light
energy
beings.
forms. Light beings.
So you begin to connect in with the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, and the higher vibrational life forms that you can only attain through meditation or intent. And if you follow Stephen Greer, it's you start to connect in with the higher frequencies of spiritual interaction. So if you think about it, we operate on a channel.
Say 3.
Yeah,
Channel 3.
Channel 3 existence. When you start delving into the paranormal, you begin to delve into the frequencies of channel 4. And it's not a single frequency. So there's an upper and lower limit to those frequencies. And when you interact with those entities, then you're selectively connecting in with different spiritual life forms. When you get more adept and begin to connect in with the more evolved life forms, level 5 and the like, that's when you become very attuned to what Heidi called, past, present, and future. So in her near-death experiences, she became attuned to higher vibrational life forms. And if you think about it, 4 and 5 and above interactions. So so when we showed you this device, this was downloaded from her interactions with input on how you could access these higher vibrational states. And can you show that one?
You can feel energy. I mean, you just touch it and you feel the vibrations.
Yeah. So this was I built this from her download, which was a very precise configuration of copper and the cones,
Fibonacci
sequencing,
numbering.
and this was a download. So the input to her and to everyone else, you can achieve a higher vibrational capability by using these devices. You don't, and it's as simple as making one out of pine cones. So it's a very straightforward thing. It's not secretive, but the general input is there's a very distinct sequence of vibrational interactions wherein this device interacts with your body, because your body is basically a generator. So you generate about 2 watts of power.
It's enough to light a light bulb.
Oh yeah.
Uncle Fester was on board. That's exactly what you can do. Actually, that's what the body does.
So your body generates electricity. You are in a constant state of vibrational interaction, not only with your body and its atoms, but you can interact with other devices. So this device is somewhat like a crystal radio, and it's a magnifier. So when you connect in with these devices, you increase your vibrational capability such that when you go out, checking out the paranormal activities that we call, a level 4 vibration, you begin to interact with the spirit world, and you can start pulling in other spiritual entities. Now, as you evolve with your training, you can get a higher frequency of an interaction. So when you begin to interact with the higher frequency life forms, you begin to hit the extraterrestrials, the higher life forms that we call light bodies and ascended beings.
This device, I have used this in fourth level, fourth dimensional investigation, and I have experienced the verbal channeling of spiritual entities that were within that space as it would have been conversational. That's one thing that was unintended. It was unintended, wasn't it? We didn't even try to do it.
Yeah.
But I had this in my lab, and I was kind of working with it during an investigation, a usual investigation in the library, and just began to I went into a trance and began to conversationally communicate one of the past residents here. And so as that can happen on the fourth level, the point I think David is making and that I'm making is we have the opportunity to explore higher levels of investigation, higher levels of communication, and higher levels of interaction in many different ways. Meditation alone is all you really need. But there's just many different opportunities that I don't think we're aware of in paranormal investigation.
Yeah, and to the point of these Ouija boards.
Ouija boards, we're all over. We agree. We think that's.
It was a download to Heidi also. And this goes along with this device. And this is a device as well that you can hit the higher frequencies of interactions.
So it's basically it's a Ouija board, but it has the planchette is moving on copper balls. So you have the element of the copper carrying the electromagnetic frequency, which amplifies the ability that you have over sensitivity of communication.
These copies fly off the board. It's a very powerful device. So the point being,
but you could use this with extraterrestrials easily.
So the point being, with these devices, much like the iPhones or the spirit boxes, these allow you to hit at a higher frequency and maybe move beyond this level 4 interaction where you connect in with the spirits, the ghost hunting norm. But when you begin to interact with these devices, you naturally hit a higher frequency, and then you could begin to expand out beyond the normal interactions that you are used to at a level 5. So, the levels go up through 10. So, it's 10 or 13. The conversation moves beyond that. So, but typically, if you look at rocks and the like, those are thought of as a vibrational level of 1. If you look at lichens and acorns and grass, that's a vibrational level of 2. As you move into our domain, this is a vibrational level of 3. And if you think about it, if you look around,
she's quite special. She's a special child. She's had brain damage, and she's special. So she doesn't understand.
Yeah. So level 3 is our normal mode of interaction. Now, when you get into the paranormal, that's a level 4 vibration, and this whole spectrum of lower life forms, demons, high life forms. That's a vibrational level of interaction on the spiritual level. But as you move beyond that into a level 5, you can begin to interact with the ascended beings, the high, and that's where you begin to connect in with the ETs, the UFOs, and like Stephen Greer. Once you begin to create that intent, you begin to interact with the higher transformational.
She really wanted up there. I'll get her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
So anyway, so to Heidi's point, playing with the any paranormal scenario, we're looking at the potentials.
I'll put her in the kitchen.
Yeah.
She's not gonna behave.
Yeah. So you begin to create an intent beyond the level 4 existence, and then you can move into the higher life forms and the extraterrestrial. And Bigfoot, he's a level 5 maybe. So there's a much bigger dimension that you can potentially get into by interacting and learning these devices. Because that was the download to Heidi. They didn't want, in talking to the light beings, they didn't want everyone to have to go through a near-death experience to retune your brain. But by learning these devices, much like a voice box or a spirit box, you can become attuned to interacting with the higher life forms that go beyond the spiritual frequencies, and you can move higher into the higher realms of the Akashic fields and the Pleiadians, Arcturians, and the like. That's our thoughts.
Hey, you know what? I love listening to you, man, because I think we can talk for hours. And Scott, and I know, and you and Paranormal, Penny Paranormal can talk for hours also. You guys, I just got the feeling you guys can actually write a book together because you guys have so much knowledge.
It's on Amazon.
They actually have
We do.
I mean, you guys can actually put another book because I think if I can put you two guys together in a room, hell, you guys probably won't even get any sleep because it's you guys can just talk and for and socialize forever on on this.
We published a book on Amazon called
Akashic Bridges for those who are afraid to cross.
So get it now. It could be a free gift.
It could be. We're gonna give it as a door prize. That would be good.
Anyway, I've talked to the camera enough.
We appreciate the opportunity to talk about it, Terry. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Hey, that's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. For you guys to get the word out. And hopefully there's some good listeners out there. Because I love listening.
And I'll say I am a avid supporter of the use of Ouija boards. I think they've really gotten a bad name and they've been really unfairly judged and not taking into consideration that it is the intent of the user and the responsibility of the user. For me, it's been a gift. it has been a gift.
And you know what? I really don't, and I blame Hollywood for just about
Yeah.
everything that's going on with the Ouija board. I've never used one personally. I don't know if Scott
I've,
or
I've never had
Anthony
a
or
bad
Miguel
I've
has.
used them for years, but I
Yeah, see?
don't try to contact anything nasty on it. But if you're
No,
going into a place that's
I have
got something
never had a
nasty,
bad.
it doesn't matter
I,
what you use. A Ouija board's not much different from
it
using
is
the Bell meter or a K2.
exactly.
I mean,
I agree.
or a
I've used
spirit box. A spirit
probably.
box is about the same thing, except it says it out loud. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pendulum.
yeah. But
Pendulum.
it's just it's just
Yeah,
Hollywood and what they put into the fear of it.
I think
Well,
it's
no
a
one ever
fabulous
wants to watch a
tool.
horror movie in which you contact a
Fabulous
ghost on
tool.
a Ouija board. It turns out to be your grandma who tells you to clean your room. So I mean, gotta be realistic.
These
Yeah.
these boards that David make are absolutely beautiful. They are a work of art. They're beautiful. They're
Yes.
gold. They're gold. They're just beautiful.
I did not
And,
know what that was. I don't
they're-
play with Ouija boards, but the other day when I
Oh,
was
they're
there,
beautiful.
I was playing with it and I didn't even know what it was.
They-
and I'm like, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
they're actually it would be a wonderful meditation device as
Mhm.
well. But I don't think also I want to say this: all of this equipment that we use in paranormal investigation, we can use it the same way to interact with extraterrestrials. It's a wonderful treasure chest of opportunity, of exploring beyond, and it's something that I'm kind of dear. I mean, it's a soft place in my soul, personally.
Hey, Texas raised and Kukuri, how do you guys feel about UFOs and all that stuff?
I
Are you
believe
guys up?
I
Are you
believe
guys
they
up for an investigation?
I would love to do that for sure. We believe that there is something else out there. I know that for a fact we're not the only ones on this universe. So
yeah, we well we we have our own ideas on it. We both believe in aliens. I personally believe that there's different races. I believe some are not from here and they travel here, and I believe some were here before we were here.
so
And
to do an investigation would be awesome. Yeah.
So we would love to do an investigation. I've done an investigation before. It led me nowhere. So that was, I was just staring at the sky, trying to meditate, and I was begging for something to pop up in the sky, man. I saw this guy who was posting a video, and the news anchor was with him, and he summoned a UFO, and he showed up. So I was like, he could do it, I could do it, So I'm outside, I'm trying to meditate, and I'm trying to get a UFO to pop up on me, and because I've always wanted to see one, and I don't want to be abducted or anything, but
If you get the chance of going to Sedona in Arizona, we did a UFO tour, and it was a strange scenario. The woman said, guaranteed to see a UFO. So,
Big claims.
yeah.
Big claims.
So
right?
we went out, and it was freezing in January. Or January?
Yeah, it was in February. Yeah, it was in February. I think it was freezing.
And
it was cold.
so she walked us through how to identify a UFO.
She schooled us.
And she had night vision goggles, and she educated us as to what's real, what's fake. And by the time we were into the meeting, we probably saw about 50 UFOs. It was like
truthfully.
Yeah, it was. She would explain how they would, leave the atmosphere.
We interacted with them.
And you can interact with them. If you take a laser, you can, connect in with them.
They're intelligent.
So, but it was like Dallas Fort Worth Airport.
It was all over.
It was
phenomenal.
It's
Absolutely
like,
phenomenal.
what the hell is going on? So once you know how to look, and you have to use
And-
night vision.
And you have to understand the differences between your experiences as to what is truly a UFO and what is not. And once you understand that, you can verify and qualify it as being truly what you are seeing. But there's specific criteria that makes it very easy to either identify or to debunk. You can debunk it very easily because it's very straightforward.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
very
I
bizarre.
actually, I actually has a friend of mine who actually is probably a good mentor of mine, who's I had the opportunity to interview Travis Walton. I don't know if you guys know who
Wow.
he is,
Oh yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Star in the
but
Sky. Yes.
his
That was-
story is so unbelievable. I mean, what that guy went through and what he experienced changed not only his life but his community life as a whole.
Yes.
He was an abduction.
Yeah, the abduction. If you ever get an opportunity to go to a UFO convention, we went to Contact in the Desert. All the big personalities were there from Travel Channel. Very up close. You could have coffee and talk with them, and it was really a cool
Yeah,
experience.
he seems very
He was there.
vacated.
He was there, but it is really an experience
Oh,
that
yeah.
is worth the trouble. It's worth the money. They have one in Eureka Springs, really close. It's good. It's a small one, but it's good. And I would recommend any of you going to those. They are really, really informative. It really expands your understanding of paranormal. Um, one thing I wanted to just really quickly mention, and it was something that it was a hands down validation for me based on the experiences that I've had, both near death and extraterrestrial and paranormal, all of that, is that when you look at the symbol of the eternity sign, we all know that the eight, eternity sign. And if you take that as a symbol and you put yourself in that cross as present, it blows your mind to realize that if you can accept eternity future, you have to accept eternity past. And when you have eternity past, we'll say eternity past that's flowing into present and going into eternity future, they meet. They meet like a circle, and they meet in that eight. So when you think about it, the ancient civilizations of eternity past are the same civilizations as our eternity future, because they meet. And it's a quantum phenomenon that we just hardly can get our brains wrapped around. That expanded my belief in God in the most profound way imaginable. When I really began to fully try to think of everything that is past is future, because somewhere in that circle of eternity past, eternity future, they meet, they converge. I guess that's all I'll say tonight.
More to come.
More to come.
All right.
There's
Hey
more.
guys, let's talk to the young generation, the ones that are going to do this after we're gone. Kukuri, Anthony, your son, hopefully he's going to continue doing what you're doing, what he's doing now, 40, 50 years from now. What exactly you guys want to achieve by doing this? Because you're young. I know there's other things you guys can be doing. But you guys chose this field. You know, so just tell me a little bit. What your goals are. As far as the future, as continuing doing what your dad and hopefully Kukuri, your kids are going to follow you guys in your footsteps. What are your goals for them?
Well, the only thing, kind of like what's on my mind right now, when we first started this, I just wanted to see evil things. Now it's kind of like, even with Penny Paranormal and their devices and whatnot, where's the line within summoning things and investigating? Or are we just one and the same, If we go into these places and these things appear, are we doing the same thing as summoning them? Or are we coming in to like banish them? Like, so I guess I kind of asking the same thing you just asked me. What are we doing? But where's that line as to summoning things or summoning entities, summoning UFOs, or do we
I
just
don't
let it be?
I don't believe in lines. I don't believe in divisions.
Right.
There are no divisions, there are no lines, there are no limitations, there are no differentiations. It's all energy. It's all frequency.
And if you want a different answer too, you can use your tools to see if anything is there beforehand. So as an occultist, I do evocation work, which is summoning. I'll use my paranormal tools to help me communicate with the spirit so I don't have to play ceremonial magician and psychic at the same time. But if you want to know if something's there beforehand, that's why you do a clean sweep before to see if you pick up anything. If nothing's there, there's nothing there, then you try to call something up and something's there and it sticks around, yeah, you brought it. Or I've seen
Well,
some teams, to be honest, that tend to travel with some negative attachments. They don't know they have them, but they'll go around and drop them off in various locations because we've had a few cases in which we were called in after another group already hit. And we like to use the Phasma box because it's just easier for Ricky and I to hear. We have old ears, so some of the newer spirit box things are a little bit hard for us to determine. But we've had the spirits flat out tell us that they were dropped off by another group because they were just, like a dog with fleas, just kicking off attachments. So if you want to do that, use your tools. You can find out things that way. The spirits will write each other out. That much I know.
I think I don't know if this is applicable to your question, and I may not have answered your question appropriately at all. But I want to make this comment too. Our tools are tools to the energy that is within us. We are the ones that really activate the tools we use.
Right.
If you have a tool laying on a table, it's nothing until you put it into the energy of your hand and of your intent and of your consciousness to activate. It's the same with these devices. They have their own frequency, but it takes the intent and the energy of us. And I think the whole process of what makes a good, responsible, high quality investigator is I'll say the ethical intent and committed, responsible intent of that investigator. And that, I think, has a very direct influence on our tools and on the effectiveness of our tools.
For me, Terry, I kind of share my background along with Scott's lines, growing up, and I'm for myself where I'm at. I'm not really looking. I don't really look for bumps or people touching me or any of that stuff. I look. I've asked myself that question too. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I think it's because, well, for me, I'm not satisfied. I've seen the bump. I mean, I've experienced all these things that paranormal groups go out to do, and it's not enough for myself. Where I'm at, it's not enough. I'm looking for something more hardcore, more deeper. Um, like I said, this place that we've gone to, where I've seen uh, invisible walls, but you can see them. They look like water, but it's a barrier to cross to, and I crossed over to that other side, and um, that kind of thing is where I mostly look for. My members, when we go do it, of course, we catch stuff, we see a spirit or whatever we have. But for me, it's kind of like, okay, well, it's a spirit, you know what I mean? But that's speaking for myself. So, and it's very hard for me because I think I know that Scott can agree with this. Um, I would say, like, even for me, me and Scott, it's very hard to um, to come across something that doesn't surprise you, and you just want more knowledge of it. You know what I mean? You want more knowledge of it. We come across. I believe right now we're on the trail of Bigfoot and Skin. So the Bigfoot thing. I mean, I would say I really don't like the Bigfoot name because it sounds too cartoonish. It's more of an elemental, an interdimensional being. When you start getting into those things like that, like Penny's talking about, that higher frequency, the higher to get into that high, it takes a lot more. And then once you get into that, I haven't been. We when we did what happened to us at that time, we never came back out of that forest the same. It changed. It changed our lives. I mean, we saw things that went beyond the bumps and the bumps in the night in the house. So for me, I'm still looking for that. I just want to go deeper on it.
Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess what I would like to get out of this is, I guess, teaching people not to be so afraid of communicating with spirits, when they have something like that happening, to keep an open mind and because that's ultimately why we did it, because we wanted to teach our kids too, because a lot of this was happening to our children and they didn't understand. So we were just trying to teach them, like, hey, it's okay. This happens, there's this, that's just proof that there is life after death, and a lot of these spirits have unfinished business that, that's why they're sticking around. And our goal is to just educate more people on it, so they're not so afraid of the paranormal. And I would like to see them like take it a little bit more serious. If you take it a little bit more serious, you'll start getting those answers to your questions. So just
I would like to. So, on that sense, I would like to. Um, there's some truth out there that has already been found, but has been kept hidden on purpose. So we get lied to, and we're the people at the bottom. We have to listen to the people at the top, and they decide what we learn, what we know to be true. And if they don't want us to believe in something, they're gonna tell us it's not real. And then half the world, most of the world believes it. So like Battle of Los Angeles, there was a clear UFO, but they kept saying that it was a hot air balloon. There was a blimp. And they stuck to their story, even though there's a clear picture of a UFO. So that leads me to believe that stuff happened some time ago before I was even thought of, and ever since then, like there has been some truth out there, some facts. Maybe there are UFOs and there are aliens. I believe that they do exist, and I believe that the biggest power, most powerful people, they know that these people exist too. That these creatures exist, and we just get told that they don't exist. Is and I think it's different is saying I don't know when you ask them like, hey, do you believe in aliens? There's a big difference between saying I don't know and then saying deliberately no, they don't exist and it's impossible. I think it's impossible for us to be the only beings alive in this whole universe. I, I think the universe in general, the way it works, the way it works, the way we're moving as a galaxy, the whole thing is just some people can't even comprehend. And for that, we would kind of push things, just say we don't care, And I think it's for me, I wanna get some answers, just because I'm 100% sure we've been lied to, and some people know out there, like for example, Bigfoot, right? It's a thing. Some first, like I think Bigfoot. I think by fact, I think Bigfoot is a blurry creature. He has to be a blurry creature because every picture I see is blurry, and there's satellite images that we get from Earth, and everything was crystal clear. But every time somebody shows me a picture of Bigfoot, either he's a really fast creature or he's just a blurry creature. Maybe his fur kind of interacts with the camera lenses or something. But I would like to get
transdimensional. They're transdimensional. They're coming in and out of different dimensional forms.
So I need a transdimensional camera to catch Bigfoot, so that I can prove it. So maybe I looked into things like time traveling, for example, and how does it start? How does it begin? If I create a time travel machine today, right? Could I travel to the future? No, because I wasn't there. So where would I have put the other time machine? Could I travel to the past? Maybe I could, but maybe if I make a time machine today, in the future when I get older, I can come back to the past, and then I can say that I technically time traveled. Things like that you have to process through your head and get those juices flowing. But I want to get some answers, and instead of sitting around waiting for somebody else to find Bigfoot for me, or finding aliens for me, I say we get out there and find it ourselves. But I do feel the pushback. I see other investigators that try to get as close as they can. For example, Area 51. They try to get as close as they can to Area 51, and even then, even when they're legally allowed to be in certain areas, but because they're at a good point of view, they always get that pushback. Like, you're not allowed to see. Why can't I see? So that pushback kind of makes us feel more suspicious that there is something going on, and we just we're supposed to be like the little peasants that just kind of look the other way. And I think we should be pushing back and doing our own research and getting some answers. And then after we get some answers, let it publicly known. And I think some people have done that, and they've done a great job, but they end up going missing, which I also find mysterious. So it seems like that. So maybe after I find the truth, I'm gonna go hide under a bunker and then see what happens after that.
All right, hey, let me show a raise of hands here. If those of you that believe what Lou Elizondo is saying and what is seen is real, raise your hand.
I've got a huge interest in it. I've never seen one as far as I know, but I do want to know more.
Yeah, if anybody that has that much power in the Pentagon and just comes out and just say, "Hey, I don't like what's going on. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to expose everything and everybody the government has seen, have done, have just about everything." I think this guy is credible. I think he's well, knowledge, because he worked for the government, so he has to know. I mean, there's no reason for him to come out and lie and and just say, "Hey, this, that." I think he's what he's saying and what he's doing is actual factual. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? For those of you that don't know who Lou is, I think he worked for ATIP. ATIP is another version of, if I'm right, Project Blue Book. If you guys know what Project Blue Book is,
Yep.
he got tired of the government lying. If I'm right, and he decided to, leave the government and do things on his own. Of course, I watch a lot of YouTube, on him. Some of it might be, good. Some of it might be, nonfiction, but that's up for you guys to decide when you watch his show. But I really think he's a credible guy, and I really think he's has a lot to say on what the government is doing and what have done. Especially when you run an agency like that. He was the top dog. In that program. So I really don't think he has a reason to lie about it.
But you can never
You know,
find somebody to
that's
back him up.
just me.
Mhm.
Hey, Kukui, when we go down there to San Antonio, we're gonna take you with us on this.
No, for sure, 100%.
But I heard the funny story between you and your brother, what you did to him. So don't do that to us.
Wait, what did I do? Over to me and my brother? Oh man, yo,
Don't
look,
do that to us, okay?
He flew the coop.
look, that was a very.
He looked like Scooby Doo.
That was the first time that I legit got scared because me growing up in the ghetto, paranormal kind of became normal because every house I move into, it was cheap for a reason, So I grew up, getting kind of used to it. But that little incident with my little brother, it creeped me out because my eyes were wide open. I was wide awake. The room was pitch black. So when it's dark and you can clearly see a face in front of you, you get scared, and then you want to throw punches, So that was me, man, and that was one scary night. I'll never forget it. I'm sure my brother will never forget it because I left him hanging, But I had somewhere to go. I was like, I gotta go to my dad's house, so I had to bounce, But
Hey, and you left him there like, hey man, that's my dad. You can't go.
But I promise, ever since I joined the military, I learned to never abandon ship. So when we investigate, I'll stay throughout. I go
Oh man, you can't abandon. Hey man, you can't abandon ship, bro. You gotta.
Yeah.
If the ship goes down, you gotta go down with it. That was a good story you told me last week.
Yeah,
actually, I was in the bathroom and I was rolling over that one. Oh man, yeah, that was a good one.
We have.
You know what, guys? Go ahead.
I wanted to say something.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Lady.
I just found out a little bit ago from talking to the one that did this movie. Our trailer is on YouTube now, just the trailer part of it. And you can look up the Rotten One, Mysteries of the O.P. Paul House. And you can watch the trailer part of it.
Wow. And I'm gonna check that out. But you know what, guys? I'm gonna tell you what's so weird about that, Miss Heidi, is I work with a lot of people, and the one thing they always wanted me to do was make a movie about the real life of a paranormal investigator. None of that Hollywood stuff, unfiltered, uncut, and just tell the world the life of a real paranormal investigator. And you know what? And it's been on my mind about me actually wanting to do that. I'm leaning more 70-20, more to do it. What do you think? What do you guys think about doing something like that?
I think it would be helpful to do for the simple fact that way you can have a more realistic expectation of things.
Yeah.
Everything that ends up, it's great that we have so many shows on Discovery Plus that's kind of making these things more normalized, so people are more comfortable talking about their paranormal experiences and hopefully finding help when they need it. But in the same sense, you don't want to have people going out there and getting into trouble because they think every place is a safe location. Or, God forbid, they think every time they step into a joint, it's going to be stuff throwing at them all the time. And the very least, it'd be nice to see some dude wearing a lot of black, like most of us do, just sitting in the room in the dark for a long time going, gee, is something going to happen? Should I brought my Kindle? I don't know. Maybe I should. Get a little bit bored.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really I'm really leaning towards that, guys. You know, you might see me on some secondhand show. You know, me producing a movie about paranormal investigators, and not just paranormal investigators, just investigators from our state,
Mm-hmm.
Texas.
Terry,
You know,
Terry, I think there's a lot of movies out there made like that, but they're just not blockbusters. They're just
yeah.
you just
I
don't
mean,
know about. They're independent films, and that's kind of what we've done. I was on the film. I was involved in the filming the whole time with Gene, and I can tell you that there was not a single thing that was um, there's nothing theatrical about it. There was nothing particularly dramatic about it. It just was what it was. And I think you'll find a lot of films like that because I think there's a growing because we all are healthy skeptics. There is a growing trend toward not commercializing, not dramatizing, and not allowing theater to enter. I think we all kind of know that that's a lot of it, of what we see on the major stations. But I think you'll see a lot of people being very honest and sincere about their experiences and wanting to share them, but you just won't see them in Hollywood and you won't see them on
That
TV.
you won't see a lot of groups that look
You
like
won't-
what's the old comment they used to make? You've got a face for radio. And I know that's kind of
Right.
true for me. I need to lose a lot more weight before someone's going to put me in front of a camera and hope for it to be entertaining.
But I
oh
think we
man.
all share that. I think we all share that sentiment, Terry. I would certainly agree with you.
Hey, but Chops is still doing their thing, and he looks just like us, bald and everything. And he's a plumber.
Oh man. Hey, this is a time where everybody get to ask everybody questions. Feel free to do so, guys. Uh, the floor is open to anyone that has any questions for anybody.
Someone
Well,
up
let's
here
go back.
up in the questions asked, has any of you been possessed by a spirit? So I guess any of you guys been possessed by spirits before?
My ex-wife. That was a bad one.
That's a good
He's
one.
still, he's still feeling that. Yeah.
I've I've had friendly possessions. Yes, I have in the form of channeling. Yeah, I have experienced a place where I was I where my body and my verbal words were used to communicate by an entity, a past residence, and it was not malicious. It was not demonic. So I don't know that it would be caused. Uh, actually, would be, a possession like what you. No, I wouldn't consider it a possession. I would be. Oh, that was not a possession. No, that
was a channel.
Channeling. I channel very frequently, but I wouldn't consider that to be a possession. I think when we're used as a human vessel for communication, I don't consider that to be a possession. That's happened to me many, many times. Many times.
I know I've had
I got a question for you guys. Why do you guys think that Texas is labeled the most haunted state in the country compared to uh, all the other states that were founded before us?
Because
Pennsylvania.
Texas wasn't America's to begin with, and I think that's what it was. I mean, I'm from the 13 colonies, but that's where it started, 13 colonies. But Texas was Mexico's, and when we start, America has this thing that when they take over places, they don't only ask for it; they kind of take it, So it a lot of bloodshed goes down with that.
That's a good point. I would not have thought of that. That's an excellent, excellent observation.
We also have a lot of geography too. So
Excellent
there's a lot
observation.
to cover. Like grad school's up in Vermont, and it's a haunted place too, but it's a small state, so there's you can drive past it in a day.
I believe that.
You know-
I think Texas has been fought over so much.
Exactly. Yeah,
And, and especially down there in San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, everything down there was native before, and so like I said, I mentioned that land earlier. It goes back 10,000 years. They were digging up the Applewhite Dam. They found artifacts dating back 10,000 years. Okay, well, in that same place that we go to, 10,000. There's been 10,000 years back of natives living there. So where did they die? And they died there. Where did they bury it? They're buried there. So how many generations in 10,000 years? How many people is that buried there? How many killed when the people came in and started killing them off to take the land? And then now they just build a trail through there that you can walk through, a bike trail for miles, right over all the graves that are still under there. But you don't even know they're there. I mean, basically, unless you hit them up, like they did. So that's why that place is so. There's so much stuff going on in there, and they just traveled all the way to the west, like down here in West Texas. It's the same thing from Stockton. That was the Apache Comanche, where the trail back in the day. They would come through and they would be attacked by Apaches and Comanches. So you got all of that right down the road. I mean, so Texas has just had so much drama in the past. I think compared to other states.
Invasion. Maybe Texas has suffered or experienced, I'll say not suffered, but experienced, well, yeah, maybe suffered too, experienced so many multiple layered decades and cultural invasions. And when you have invasions and assaults, you have a high amount of energy, passion, protection, lives lost. There's just layers and layers of invasion and assault,
And greed.
cultural assault.
Lots of greed.
Yep. I did. So a couple of years ago, before I met my wife, I used to. Before I even got into paranormal, I used to do treasure hunting, and part of the treasure hunting was to do research on where I'm looking for my treasure. And I went to an archive in Austin. It's a library in Austin where I can look up old maps of what Texas used to look like back then. And I was looking through the maps, but it didn't say Texas. It said Mexico. And I was pretty much have to put the our current new map on top of the old map to kind of lay stuff out. And basically, I was following a story, and this has been when Wells Fargo was first made as a bank. And there was a robber, Jesse James, who took some money. Basically, he was supposed to deliver the gold from one bank to the next on horses. That's their logo, the horses on the carriage, and that's where they'll put their money in. but he took off with the money. He was supposed to do the job, and then when the bank found out that he didn't show up, they went on a manhunt for him. So with that money that he stole, he will buy Mexicans off so they can let them through, and sometimes they would let him through, and sometimes they didn't let him through. He would still kill him and carry on with his thing, And eventually, I think they did catch up to him, but he didn't have the money. He buried it somewhere. So then there was a big hunt on that, and they were even like following his wife pretty much forever because they had a feeling that she knew where the gold was, and but because he never told her where it was, she just kept getting followed around for the rest of her life while he was in jail. The stories like that of people when it comes to greed, they do it on a bigger scale, on a huge scale. We end up wiping out, an entire, village just to say, okay, this is ours now. But now there's nobody there, so now you have to repopulate it with your own people. You don't wipe everybody out, and that whole whatever culture was there is no longer existing. And that type of history, even though it's old, still happens today. It happens in a lot of places. It happens in Hawaii and Puerto Rico, little islands. The United States.
Ukraine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
You are holding that pendulum in your hand.
Oh, yep.
And I see it. You're not moving it with your hand. It's just moving by itself. What's going on there?
Oh, no, it does that whenever I'm asking it questions and stuff. It's just simple magic.
Pendulums are great. I live by them. Every day I live by them.
Wow. Because I see that little bad boy is moving. It's just moving on its own.
I've had some people texting me some
Our
stuff,
bodies are
like
pendulums
answering
too.
questions through them, and also using the pendulum to kind of answer questions for stuff going on afar that I don't know about personally, but the pendulum's giving them answers, and I'm responding back to them through text.
You can use the pendulum like you're using the dowsing rods. Am I right?
Yep. You can use just about anything for anything. It's just old school psychism, and it's really easy thing to do, very nice, and it's good for all sorts of things.
Do you have to touch it? I always want.
No. And in fact, if you want to have one that's a little bit more interesting, especially when you're doing spirits, you can put them in the bottle and seal the bottle, so there's no way anything can move it.
So I was trying to ask this the last guy. We had a sidekick come over here to our house, and he was doing the same thing. And that was one of my questions was with the dowsing rods, and because people say you can easily manipulate them, because while you're giving me a demo, you're doing it for me. You're saying, if the ghost says no, he's going to do this. So you're manipulating it. So then my first question was, can you do it without having to touch it?
Yep. In fact, you'll see some psychics that are a little bit more credible doing that, and they'll just channel their power through it from afar. In which case, you don't have to have it told. They'll actually put them in, just any form of device that can hold it for them. And you can also, like I said, you'll see some places now, Miracles of Joy in Louisville have some that they put inside bottles, so they're already sealed. So there's no way air can get at it, anything else can get at it. And you can just use your psychic abilities, hands on either side, or just entirely far away, I'll say about 5 feet away, and just let the thing do as it needs to do after I've charged it.
That's awesome. That's more like the answers that I like to hear. The last guy, he was kind of trying to dodge my question.
You always got to be careful. Some people that have good intent, but they're kind of tricking themselves. So that's one thing that's true if you're doing anything with the pendulum work and you're new at it, is that if you really, really, really want to get a yes out of it, it's going to move towards a yes. So you got to learn how to control that and just let it be, in which case that's one of the things that might be better off if it's not being held by anyone. You just let the energy move itself.
So that brings me to my next question. Group with the Ouija board, because you have a one of a kind. I've never seen one of those before. I was trying to ask this earlier, but you guys didn't hear me. Could you use that without having to touch it? The Ouija board,
the one that you have in front of you
with the copper balls and all this good stuff. I don't have a clear image of what it looks like. I was wondering, is it possible to use a Ouija board without touching it? My goal is to not use have interference.
I've seen them move on their own. it's a very, I built it, it's a very um, slick surface, low friction. So uh, the balls roll on a glass, and they can easily move on their own. I've
On
seen it
the edge?
happen once,
In the center.
but typically it works better with two interacting. And it will fly around the board. It's a little crazy. But,
I have a close-up picture. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try and let you guys see this through my camera, if it'll work.
Get it in there. All right, let's see.
Oh, the letters are on the.
They're on the outside. They're on the
Yeah.
edge.
Okay.
It's gold.
They're on the eye. Okay.
That is dope.
And then you put the BBs on the inside, the copper.
BBs
And
and
it's against glass.
But
Wow.
the thing that I try to do is try to debunk everything that I do. Even after I find something myself, I try to go back and debunk it. And this is why I ask these questions, because my wife wouldn't touch another Ouija board.
I've worked with Ouija boards
seen them
before,
move.
but I've seen some that were, if you had a strong enough spirit, if they can move something physical and large, they can move a Ouija as well. Two stories with it. One, I've seen the ones move, but was when you're using the old school thing where you just have an upturned glass, but it's a really small glass, like a shot glass.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I've seen those move on a table before whenever the spirit needed to move the answers. And a lady I taught with that did anatomy and physiology and AP bio over at Lake Dallas High School. She
Hey, what
was
about the
an atheist, and she had a Ouija board that she was using in the cemetery, and she didn't believe in a damn thing about it, but she had her hands off of it. No one had their hands on it, asked if something was there, and the damn thing flew off the Ouija board, in which case then she questioned her atheism and went home. And that's always been her answer about when the kids say,
Closed down.
"Yes, miss, have you ever used a Ouija board?" And she's like, "Yes, but not after, thank you."
Our battery for our computers deciding to close down. If we lose you, our battery's down.
We're not possessed.
Okay. Okay. Hey guys, believe it or not, we have talked for 200 for 2 hours for 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Wow.
Dude,
It's been a
I
nice
mean, it has
discussion. I
been-
really appreciate it.
Yes, this
Yes,
is
it has been an amazing podcast. But before we go, guys, there's 2 questions I have to ask from each one of the areas that you guys are representing. Starting with Mr. Scott here. Mr. Scott, tell me a little something about an urban legend that you've heard about over and over again in your area.
Okay, I can do 2 of those. Well, let me hit one that's just kind of interesting. So, Goatman's Bridge is over in the Denton area, and everyone knows about that. But I've heard so many different stories about it because I've taught in the area. So before, like, the internet was a big thing and the rest, I heard from some of my students that there was supposed to be a girl there that had killed her baby there, and that's the reason why the place was haunted. Nothing to do with the Goatman or the rest. And of all things, as the stories kind of keep going and going, it's interesting to see how some of these urban stories start up and then kind of solidify once the internet gets up and we start hearing a common story about it. It makes you call into question like a lot of the paranormal claims that go into certain locations, because so much of it can just be made up and culturally there, but not really backed in any form of real experience. Second off, same thing going back to Goatman's Bridge. Since I've taught in the area for such a long time, I know every little Satanist kid that ever hopes to summon a demon goes over there. And so half the time, whenever I'm watching things like Ghost Adventures, and they mention all the stuff that happens for them there, I'm wondering, was that there before, or did all these little Satanist kids going over there trying to call stuff up bring it? And so it might not have been haunted before, but now it is, thanks to all the people hanging around there doing stuff they shouldn't do. Because if you go over, there's a lot of signs of people trying to summon all sorts of things and a whole lot of kids just running all over the place at all hours. And now a lot of cops and a lot of meth dealers.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of meth. Honestly, a lot of meth dealers. Go and watch out for the drug addicts.
Watch out. Okay, Penny, tell me a little bit. You guys have any urban legends over there? Real quickly, you guys want to tell me about?
The only one I know is about our house, about darkness. Really,
no, you was going to say that.
Oh, it looks like they died.
Yeah, they like they died. Okay, what about you, Curry? Any urban legends down there?
Yeah, well, the one that everybody's always talking about during Halloween is the infamous bus stop where the train goes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's out here located on the south side of San Antonio by the Missions, and we debunked it, and so did a lot of other groups. So it's an optical illusion. No accident ever happened there. There was no bus accident with a bunch of children. None of that happened at all. As a matter of fact, when you go to that spot that you're supposed to put your car in neutral and it pushes you, it looks like you're going on an uphill, but it's really an optical illusion where you're going downhill through the whole time. So it doesn't even look like that. It looks like you're literally going uphill when you're not.
Yeah.
So
surveying shows different.
Yeah, so it's been debunked, but that's been one of the biggest urban legends here in San Antonio.
We also debunked the Hollering Creek.
Yes, the Hollering Creek.
That we had a story on that, and we went out one night and we thought we found the Hollering Creek. It took us a while to get there. We got a little bit lost. We found the right spot, and we're supposed to look for a woman that was screaming. Everybody says, I live close by. I hear her every night. So the story seemed legit because people live there. And we went there and we heard the hollering. It was creepy. And it turned out to be cars. Cars were driving by. They were driving down the street, and because it's so slanted, the road was made with these lines. So when the tires go over the lines, they create a screeching sound.
That sounds like a woman screaming.
It sounds like a woman screaming. So we sat there and we just recorded it. And ultimately, we were kind of dissatisfied that it was fake, but at the same time, we knew where the story came from. So we were able to debunk it and record it and say, hey, this is no longer true. I don't know where the story came from, but it was all BS. But like I said, we debunk if we can.
We need to historical things.
I think they're coming back.
Something's happening.
We need to write a story about it and promote it. Promote it on Facebook.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
I can tell it really well, I think.
I think they don't know that we're on.
Yeah, I don't think they know that they're on, so they're
right. That's great.
Oh, good to hear their real secrets.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Well, if you want to get it, I'll put it. I'll use it.
There's a lot
I'll put it
of
out.
urban
Whatever
legends
you
out
can
there
get,
about
I'll
you
put out.
guys. Can you tell me one real quick?
Yeah. Well, get it before it rains, and we can use it. I mean, we'll put it in.
Wait now, wait a
We'll
minute.
put it in there. We'll
Paranormals talking over your body.
in a way, do a story on it.
Can you see us?
We can hear you. We can't see you.
It's not working. Hey, David. Do you make these?
Yes.
We can see you.
I would
We can
love
hear
one.
you, but we can't see you. They just went off again.
Paranormal butt dialing, but not in the good way.
I was too. Yeah.
I can see, I can hear you, but not see you. Hello.
I'm not sure they can hear us. Maybe they'll say something scandalous.
Oh, I'm fixing to go. Are you? Are you ready, DJ?
Oh man, this is funny to watch. Listen to.
Come on, guys.
I really think they're just talking. They don't even know they're on.
Yeah, I think they're just talking.
It's not picking me up for some reason.
Hey.
Oh, wait. Somebody's online.
Oh, the road.
I see you.
Oh, I think we're in now.
You were in before.
You never left.
There we
All right,
are.
we see you. All right. So, hey, go ahead. As you were
Yeah,
saying,
I got them back on
West
my
Texas.
phone.
Oh, Lord.
Like I said before, here in West Texas on this side here, it's not really like a whole lot, but there is some stories there of that famous ballroom. The devil appeared at the ballroom. I think San Antonio has one too. You know,
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what gets me. You know, that as I was saying that you start this one, and then it like why is it
I
every haunted?
can't hear nothing though.
Why is it every bridge is haunted?
Can
Why
y'all
is it
hear
always
me?
a lady in black or a lady in white?
I
You
did. But
know, where
they can hear me. I don't
so
know.
we've had one of those here.
Okay.
Um, what else do we have? There's some haunted apartments, but
Barn Door Steakhouse, the Odessa High School.
yeah, those stories have been flown around forever. Yeah. I mean,
The Llorona, that's another one that we get.
But
Okay.
that ghost tracks, we've been to the ghost tracks there, and I do know that there was another show that I seen there. Okay, that's another thing. All the restaurants are always haunted too. There's one here, there's one there, there's one there. But I've seen them where they have debunked them, where they take the
survey.
You survey the land.
Yeah.
Right, and then they saw that there was an incline on those rail tracks in San Antonio.
Right.
So when we went down there, there was people there, and they did put powder on the back of their car, and it was wiped down at first, and then they put the powder on, and there were some little handprints that came out on it.
Well, there's a theory on that. If you think about it, when you put powder on your cars, you might not see it right away, but your handprints, your oils stay on the car. So when the powder starts to settle, it starts to do the shape of your hands on the car.
We had to wipe our car clean, like
looking for fingerprints.
Yeah. That's what we saw when we were down there. We were there. There was too many people. I mean, there was a lot of people. It looked like Whataburger at night.
Exactly.
But then after that, when we went to really.
Right. You got to check out the cemetery down the street by the Missions. That's where we caught a lot of apparitions.
Yeah, we have a picture on our page from that same cemetery that we uploaded.
You get a lot of apparitions out there by the Missions down the street, so y'all should check that out definitely.
Okay, cool. The one infamous urban legend, I don't know if it's true, but me being an old truck driver, West Texas, deep West Texas, between Odessa and El Paso, the infamous black-eyed children.
Oh yeah.
That pops up. That pops up in people's houses and truck drivers. They're knocking on truck drivers' doors, to see if they can get in the trucks or the house or whatever. I don't know if that's an urban. It's an urban legend because I really don't.
They think they are.
Those be aliens.
Really don't know much about them. Are they true? They're not true. I mean, I'm just hearing about what's going on TV and what they're saying on TV.
I've seen interviews about that.
I can tell you, living over here in Odessa, and I've driven a truck for 22 years. I know the truck stops and everything. When you asked me that question a while back, I haven't heard anybody ever talk about the scary black-eyed children. The only thing I've heard them say is the scary lot lizards that are out there. I think those are pretty scary.
Yeah.
Whoa, Cowboys are winning, man! I can't believe it. Fucking raining. Damn Cowboys. Hey guys, we've been going on for 2 hours and 44 minutes.
That's how we do.
This is going to be the end of the podcast. Hey, Scott, if you want to reach out to any of these guys, please give them your information.
Absolutely. And if anyone ever needs anything, they can usually find me. Look for Scott Perry on Facebook, but also if you look in Paranormal Investigations in North Texas, they'll be able to get a hold of me if anything goes on. In all honesty, if you guys are ever doing investigating and something happens that you can't get rid of, let me know. I'll help you out, okay? I mean that. You don't have to suffer.
Okay.
Now, Terry, don't be late on October.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If y'all want to see my haunted pontoon boat, go to my Facebook page, Tom Bailey. I showed it to Terry and a couple others. Just tell me what y'all think about it. I got other pictures to share with you.
Yeah. All right. Kukuri, tell them how to get a hold of you.
Well, you can call me, email me. Actually, so I have a Facebook page, Kukui Paranormal. We are now that we're doing these podcasts and I get to meet other groups. We're gonna put some more, I guess, hours into our craft. Because I'm an IT engineer, I kind of do that for the most of my time. Yeah, so we're on Facebook, Kukui Paranormal. You can send me a message directly. Call me on Facebook, and we are open to any investigations you guys have, whether it's a couple of hours, overnight, a whole weekend. We're open. So if your house is haunted, you want me to check it out, we always go. My wife and I always go together. We're always a team, and if your Tia's house is haunted, as long as she gives us permission, we'll go down and do it too. And if y'all want to come to San Antonio, you want to go check out my haunted garage and my haunted back house and all that stuff that I got, creepy stuff that I got going on. You guys are more than welcome. Just send me a message and I'll show you we moved. Yeah, my back house had double symbols all over, and we moved in. And nobody wants to go in there. I'm the only, I'm the man of the house, so I'm the only one that's allowed to go in there. But yeah, so that's pretty much.
Oh, I was going to say this too. If you don't, how many groups you don't charge anything? Your services are free. I know Texas Paranormal Recon that I'm part of, we're free. I know there are a lot of other groups that are free. So if someone's got something going on, rather than paying for another group to come in and do something, they ought to plug for those of us, because I'm sure most of you guys are free as well, and that you'd help out without having to charge $300 a night or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. If someone's listening in and you have something that's bothering us, reach out to one of us or any of us, because I'm sure we're a lot cheaper than the ones that are trying to scam you for money.
Yeah.
Just putting it nicely.
Right? All right. Hey, Texas Red, tell the world how to get a hold of you, brother.
Just like the name says, Texas Race Hunters, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Get a hold of us there.
Cool. Last but not least, my friend, tell the world how to get a hold of you, Penny Paranormal.
We have a website, Penny Paranormal. You can also look up on Facebook, Heidi Hope, or my Facebook page is Roxy Horton.
Cool. Now, one thing I can say, I hope to see all of you guys October 22nd. I know Texas Race is coming, and I know Kukuri are coming. Maybe when you guys get up to Austin, we can follow each other up there. Mr. Scott, will you be attending?
What is it again? And where is it?
October 22nd.
What's it called? What's the title?
Go ahead, Paranormal.
It's Penny Paranormal, the OP File House in Minneopa, Texas.
Gotcha. I'm going to start putting it on my calendar and check with Ricky and see if we're free, and we will definitely try to make it down there, because that sounds like a good.
Trust me, you will not be disappointed in this house. You will not be. It's that type of house.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. Hey guys, it's the end of the podcast. Are you guys ready?
Do it.
Anthony,
Yeah.
Miguel, Scott,
Yep.
Let's do
you
it.
guys ready for the question?
Oh no, I'm not ready, bro.
All
Go
right.
for
I'm
it.
not gonna tell you what the prize is until the question is answered.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble.
What? Me, Terry. What's my favorite college team? I'll keep it simple. What's my favorite college team? Okay, we're gonna go with Scott first. Scott, who is my favorite college team?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys just because you keep mentioning them tonight.
Did you say Cowboys?
What is a college thing?
All right.
Hey, Longhorns.
All right. Okay. Who said Longhorns?
I did.
Who is that? Who is me? I can't. Is that Anthony? Oh, Miguel? Nope, you're wrong.
I had to take a swing at it, man. I had no clue.
Anthony, you're the last one.
I haven't heard you say anything about college. I know Broncos are your team.
What my college team?
No, I haven't heard you say anything about a college team. I know that the Broncos are your team.
Roxy, do you have a clue?
Sherry. Is it UTT?
Who?
UTT.
Nope.
Marianne Young in comments says Denver.
You know what?
Oklahoma Sooners.
Hey, you guys had an opportunity of a lifetime. Hey, it was 2 tickets to Hawaii.
Know the beans, man. So what's the team?
No, actually, guys, you guys were going to win a pair of those glasses that I have. I was going to send to the winner, but nobody won. But
Who was it?
my favorite college team is the University of Oregon. I'm an Oregon Duck fan.
Ask me again next week.
I was gonna say Oregon too.
I didn't know.
Ask me again next week. I remember.
Yep.
I was gonna say, I was like, no,
I wouldn't have a clue because I don't follow sports.
I don't know who he was. Out of Oregon.
These were the glasses that you guys were going to win. Oh, and they would have been perfect with your son, Anthony, because he wears the same type of glasses.
Rub it in.
So, these are the glasses you guys, if you had, you would have won. And if you see right here, the little dots, that's the actual camera.
Oh, wow.
So it's always next time, guys. Always next time.
I'm gonna start googling.
Yeah, and I had all these
All right,
answers
guys.
written down. All these answers I had them written down.
Hey,
Yeah, all
you,
the answers.
you had everything written down. Hey, you should have done. If you would have looked on my favorite football in my Facebook, you would have saw Oregon.
I never saw that.
But that's okay.
Hey,
Hey,
Terry.
you guys tried. You guys tried. And you know what? It has been a pleasure talking to you guys on this historic podcast. I really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. Penny, Mr. Scott, Kukuri, Texas Ray. It has been an honor to talk to you guys again, especially you, Mr. Scott. I know it's been a while since we talked.
Well, but it's always great
But I
chatting.
will keep in contact with each and every one of you. And I hope to see you guys in October 22nd. We're going to go. Uh-huh.
If you come early, we'll make sure it is.
You're going to make what?
I said if you come early, we'll meet you at Paradise to eat lunch.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm planning on being up there that Friday.
Okay.
So is that lunch?
Yeah, I'm planning on heading up there Friday afternoon. No, Friday morning. So I'm planning on being there Friday afternoon. I'm not for sure when and Miguel are planning on coming up, or Scott, but I will be there Friday. Hopefully, we can all get together and have dinner at that restaurant because I've kind of drawn myself to it. I like the food, so hopefully we can all get together and eat before we head over there,
All right.
to for the event. No, but in the meantime, hey guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey Terry, my son had to leave. He had to leave, but me and Tom are here. We're going to do a little ghost hunting here as soon as after the podcast goes. I don't know if you ever chased any ghost juice.
That's great.
Oh no, that looks cool, man. Are you gonna send that to me?
That's some ghost tequila right there. So
Oh damn!
Me and Tom taking that right there.
Yeah.
Send it to me. Right. Hey, and you've been quiet all night. What's going on, man?
I told you I was shy. I did want to say a couple of things when he's talking about children. Remember I told you that children under the age of 8.
All right, guys.
My place to visit, they go on YouTube is all ghost movies they want to watch.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure meeting all you guys. Hopefully, we can do this again in another 3 months. Just because you were on a podcast today, your name's still going to be in there, so you had the opportunity to draw your name again. Because the more people get to know you, the better. You know what I'm saying? So, with enough said, you guys enjoy the rest of your night.
Have
Mr.
a great
Scott,
night.
Yeah, too.
I will call you tomorrow, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Sounds wonderful.
So I look forward to my call tomorrow, probably around 6, and I will definitely, we can definitely talk.
Cool. Very cool.
Look forward to it. All right. Hey, guys, you guys have a good night now.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, everyone.
That's Father Wilton. Can I hear it?
Hey, where's the beer at, man?
The beer, that's all we got right there.
We got the tequila.
The tequila goes.
Yeah, tequila goes.
Hey, your Cowboys are losing, by the way. I just want to let you know.
That's his.
No.
That's
But
yours.
they're trying.
I'm a Sooner fan.
They're trying, guys. They're trying. Hey, so what do you think about the podcast?
It was good. It was good.
It was cool. Real good.
This is your longest one yet. It's what, 3 hours? Almost 3 hours.
Now, yeah, and what's so crazy about it? It doesn't even seem like it's been 3 hours.
Yeah.
Once you get to talking and getting to know people, things were definitely time will actually run. So, hey, Anthony, if this is something that you want, you were talking about getting one together.
Yeah.
So I really hope that you will consider doing that.
Actually, I just got up right before I got on. I was on the StreamYard app thing, and it's pretty easy. I mean, it's not hard at all.
It's not that hard, dude. Basically, if you just couple dollars to get you hooked up, man, with StreamYard, and next thing you know, dude, you're ready to go. The more money you put in the StreamYard, the more features you get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like right now, we're advertising. We're actually on 3 social media outlets. I could be on 4 with Twitter, but I didn't want to spend that extra $3.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to spend that extra $3, but it all depends on what you want and what you're looking for.
Right. Yeah, I started messing with it. The back, put the lettering. It's pretty cool. I mean, it was easy to learn. So yeah, it'll be coming up here pretty soon.
All right, man. I'm curious to know exactly how you're going to do it. The name. Are you going to stick with your paranormal name?
No, actually, I have a video that last one that I posted. I think it was the one the Bigfoot one.
With the skull.
In San Antonio.
Okay.
That one right there. I'm going to call it Wraith World.
Okay. That would be interesting, unusual.
Yeah. Well, we're Texas Wraith Hunter, so Wraith World.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Just when you decide to do it, just go ahead and put a premiere date, advertise it on social media, and when it's time to launch, hopefully I'll be the first one on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, actually, I don't know what groups you get out to, but this was live in England. This podcast was. So you went out there international.
Oh yeah. Hey, just dude, there's so many people that you can contact or you can reach out to, and before you know it, they're gonna start reaching out to you.
Yeah.
And hopefully the sky's the limit for you guys.
Yeah, I'm having that now. I mean, I'm already thinking like I have a lot on my plate right now, just with the social media. I mean, it's a lot. It's been, but I've been busy on it. I mean, oh my gosh, man! It's like now I'm like a 16-year-old kid with an iPhone now.
Hey,
oh my god!
You know what? At least you have a clue on what you're doing. Me, shit. If it ain't something simple or basic, I don't know. If I can't figure it out on YouTube, forget it.
Right.
I'm not gonna waste my time. No, but I did figure something out. I can live stream you can live stream all your investigations on StreamYard also. So instead of you edit all your investigations and put it on YouTube, you can stream. You can go raw and uncut on YouTube, and that's where you take that streaming out. I mean, I don't know if you'd like to do that. I mean, you take all that editing out.
It's kind of like
and
FaceTime
you just
Live.
go raw and uncut.
I mean, it's like a Facebook Live.
Yes, sort of like Facebook Live.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you like to stay up long hours and edit. I know I don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've been doing it.
You know what I'm saying? But it's totally up to you, brother, on how you want to do it. But I'm about to get out of here, man. And hey, you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Okay.
And look, you just got to jump in the picture. And keep this guy out of trouble. I can't wait to meet you guys in October now.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you guys have a good night.
All right.
Yes,
thanks,
sir. You
thanks,
too.
Terry. We'll see you.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was Texas Four Corners Paranormal Podcast. You guys have any questions or comments, please just do them down below on the comment section. If you guys want to get a hold of me, have a podcast or whatever, feel free to do that. It's NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Or, you guys want to do an investigation, contact me at NSPS TV Paranormal. I'm on all social media outlets, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Hey, reach out to me. Hey, let's get these numbers up, guys. I appreciate everything, all the love that you guys giving me. So, you give me love, hell, I'll give it back. You know what I'm saying? So, if we can, let's get these numbers up, man. I would really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So, appreciate everybody coming on the show. We're going to do this again, hopefully in November. November, I think that should be a good month, for me to do that. Hopefully, as the boxes get fuller and fuller with paranormal investigators, the selection will get harder and harder and harder. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these boxes are pretty full right now. Hey, and just because you're a startup investigation team, you done one or two investigations, so what? I still would love to have you guys come on the podcast, and just talk. That's one thing I like to do. So if you guys are willing to come on my show and do that, I would gladly accept you, and appreciate the stories that you have. In the meantime, hey, uh, I will see you guys in October at the OP Powerhouse Festival event that they're having up there. And hopefully I get to meet everybody that came on the podcast tonight. In the meantime, NSPS TV Paranormal is signing off. Peace. You guys have a good night. Stay out of trouble. And let's get out of here. Let's take this home.